Welcome to GoGi's After Dinner Jam. So glad that you chose to be here. As you know, I consider these calls like flavors of ice cream, and you chose this one, so I am so grateful. Remember, it's your free will that's on the table right now. Unfortunately, in 2024, we're dealing with issues of free will. Who would have thunk, huh? All right, but you chose to be here, and I'm so glad that you did. This is GoGi. I choose you back. And welcome, welcome. Settle down. We have a jam-packed night, pun intended. And for those who came last week expecting Lajuana, we still had a great show. She didn't make it last week, but guess what? It's real tonight. It's going to be real tonight. All right, so get ready, get ready, get ready. All right, so here we go. Tonight's content begs the question, why don't people believe us, T.I.? If I tell someone a drone or a plane follows me wherever I go, or if you tell someone your neighbor climbs in your window when you leave your house, or that coworkers are paid to smear your name at work as a part of the government's experiment, why won't people believe you? Why won't family members believe that Wi-Fi is toxic for you and used against your body, or that people follow you everywhere you go? In this America, the question is not, is the government really conducting a non-consensual experiment on hundreds of thousands of innocent U.S. citizens? Again, the question is, has there ever been a 10-year sequential span of time when the government has not been conducting a non-consensual experiment on innocent, law-abiding citizens? Certainly, there's got to be a better way to discover the effects of LSD, or any other drug for that matter, or untreated diseases, or cures for illnesses, than to deceive and betray your own constituents. Certainly, there's a better way to provide solutions to the people you serve without stomping on their constitutional rights. My. Knowing that our government has betrayed us in the past, why do you think it's hard for people to wrap their brains around the fact that there's a program existing right now that's betraying us as well? And that's the question we're going to open up with, guys, okay? Again, welcome to GoGi's After Dinner Jam. I'm GoGi, and I'm so glad you chose to be here. I choose you back. We have a jam-packed night planned for you, and I hope that you'll sit back, relax, and enjoy it. All right, and the question tonight, when we open, if you have noise in your background, please mute yourself so we don't have to mute or boot you, okay? And speak whenever you choose to speak. As you know, we announce ourselves with our name, city, and state, where we're from, and answer the question, why do you think people don't believe you? Or do you think they do? All right, that's the question. Let's open up. Welcome to the jam, everybody. Of course, I hear a little fuzz in the background. Please mute yourself, whoever you are. If you have static on your phone, please mute yourself so we don't have to find you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Please announce yourself.
God bless you, God.
This is Lauren.
God bless you, Twinnie.
God bless you, Twinnie. Go ahead, Sonia, and then Lauren. Go ahead.
I think the reason why a lot of people don't believe us, especially if you don't have a credible evidence, is because they designed this program in such a way to make the victim look crazy, because this program, when you tell someone about it, I mean, it is just, dodgy, so far-fetched to even, no one can imagine that our own government would be doing something like this, a crime against humanity, attempted murder, genocide, treason. No one would ever think our government would be doing something like that. So that's just my feeling. God bless you.
I love it, Twinnie. I love it, Sister Sonia. Absolutely true. When you start talking about, especially if you talk about the worst things that are done, people would not believe it's the government themselves. Everybody, if you're not talking, mute yourself. The next voice we hear is going to be Lauren, and then we'll continue from there. Go ahead, Lauren.
Hi, Gaji.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, everybody. Hey, thank God for life. That's my motto. Thank God for life. What I want to say is this. That would make it just too easy for us to walk up and tell somebody with hopes that they would believe us. But guess what? They already know. But they're not going to acknowledge that they know, because it's billions of dollars that is in this program. And I hate to use that word, because a program for me is something you enjoy. That's how sick they are. They're going to call it a program. But anyway, yeah, they're not gonna let us talk to anybody that they think may believe us. And on top of that, they have alienated everybody away from me. I mean everybody. Even some people that I used to talk all the time with on the call, or at any given time. You know, I can tell that they're kind of dispersing, but that's okay, because one thing about it is, you might think I'm alone. You might think you're alone, but you're never alone, because you got God. So the Most High is with us all the time. So I just say, you know, it's the way the system is set up. You know, it's just the way it's set up. If anybody believes us, that means that would bust this system wide open, and that's a fact.
All right, thank you. And it was designed this way. Go ahead, ma'am.
All right, I'm Susan Pierce. I'm a CDC whistleblower, and I can tell you the police were definitely involved. I have taken a neighbor to court. She was literally burning me with 85 lumens. She went and got 5 huge lights, put them on her deck railing, and literally into where I slept, into my bathroom window. When I was filming it for evidence, it burned me so bad I had to go to the eye hospital to save my eyesight. So I
Susan. Hi, Susan. Thank you. Question: why do you think people don't believe you when you tell your story?
It's crazy. It's almost like people think automatically you're crazy. And I'm like, the first question is, why would they do that to you? I'm like, I'm the CDC whistleblower. I'm biotech. I'm warning the people about the COVID. I want to tell y'all, I have offered, if it's okay if I tell them, I have offered y'all 2 weeks of free scalar stuff to help you. Today I popped.
Susan, I'm not going to put that out today, because I'm going to have you as a guest. You're going to get to speak and offer your product. Okay, thank you. Not your product, because it's free.
I got something.
Thank you so much, Susan. All right,
Melody.
Go ahead.
Hi,
Melody. Next question.
Hey. So I think ultimately, when we're sharing our stories and telling what's going on, I think it makes the other person feel really unsafe, and so they're just not able to comprehend, like, perhaps the government or deep state or people that are supposed to be protecting us are actually harming us. So deep down, it's a deep-seated issue that ultimately they would feel unsafe if they believe that. So that's what I got.
I love it. Which means that, which boils down to those 4 letters, fear, F-E-A-R. So, yeah, I would think so. I love it. Okay, go ahead. Next caller, please. Why do you think people don't believe us when we tell them what's going on?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, everybody. Hi, GoGi's. My name's Wayne Hamilton. I'm from Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Wayne.
I have a pretty big family, and I have a few of my family members that actually believe me, but most of them don't. And you know, I kind of overwhelm them with it, so I think that they don't want to hear it because it's not happening to them. And also, I don't know, there could be some level of mind control in it as well. It's hard to tell. I mean, that's their ultimate goal.
Very interesting. Thank you for that. So it's basically, it doesn't affect them directly, and also the ability for the government to get involved with mind control. Love it, Wayne. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Next caller. All right. Next caller, please. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
This is Mary.
We can hear. Okay, I got two. I have a male. We're going to take that base first, and I think I heard Mary. Go ahead, sir. Sir, go ahead.
What about the fact that we kind of have to provide more proof?
Okay.
I mean, that's really kind of what I think we need to start having a lot of that. To bring it with us when we go talk to people. Not talk.
Okay. All right. So you're saying it's lack of evidence. They don't believe us because of lack of evidence. Okay. That's your thought. There's no right or wrong, guys. There was a woman. Was it Mary?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Go ahead, Mary.
I'm with Wayne on the mind control. I think a lot of it is mind control, that they make people, think you're crazy. That they're affecting other people's thoughts of you.
Yep.
But
okay.
But there are a few more people than you would think now that believe us. Not a whole lot, but few. Because like I said something to somebody thinking they were never going to believe me, and they actually said, "Yeah, I do believe you." She said. She's been sitting and they'd be talking about something, and then all of a sudden it would come up on their phones that whatever they were talking about. They didn't even search for it.
Right.
So they're starting to see outside stuff now that's proving us.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for that. All right. Next caller, please. Anybody, please announce yourself, answer the question, why don't people believe us when we tell them what's going on with TI?
Hi, Gaji.
Hi, how are you?
It's Michelle. How are you doing?
Hi, Michelle. Okay, Michelle from New York City. Mm-hmm.
I think we were talking about this earlier.
Yes.
And I don't encounter that. I feel everybody believes us, and it depends, I think, on how long you've been affected by this. For me, the obvious technology, the most intensive, the V2K, the whatever, and I had really high intensity when it first started. It was stalking, people just stopping in my class, sitting on a step, going in their phone, and then the more I reported it, it went down. That went down. In New York, this is 2025, and the flying car...
Almost 25.
Yeah, well, it's here. The flying car is already out. They sold 440 of them last year for $150,000, and this year they're on the market for $350,000. Tesla, there's millions of articles on that man wanting to put the Neuralink in all of us, that especially the people that are experiencing AI. And I think even if you don't have V2K, you're experiencing that AI because they have access to all 5 of your senses. They can turn the intensity down where you think, oh, I just have a knee ache or whatever, but it's not. Because when I go back in time, I realized it was them hurting me, like going up the steps, and I can't breathe, and they show me things, the intensity that it can go to and the lower intensity it can go to. Another thing is New York has laws, mandatory videos that we have to watch once a year at work on harassment
and stalking, and also the DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion laws. Now, and they give situations of people being harassed, and they tell you what to do and how to proceed with it. And you're supposed to approach the person and then report it to the authorities. Well, that's what I did, and I told them about the video at work, and they said, "What did you do?" And I said, "I went to the neighbors and I told them, I know you're harassing me and my mother, and I want it to stop." And then the police said, "Well, what did they say?" I said, "Of course they're going to say we're not doing anything or whatever." And we told them about the technology harassment, and they gave us police reports. So, I mean, they didn't give us everything we wanted. They gave us police reports on the harassment, but they told us to bring the John Kingston stuff to the police station. So I'm not going to say the police never gaslight you, because I have had gaslighting, but I've had gaslighting for anything. You know, I mean, okay. I don't know. And you have to also ask yourself, who are you telling and what do you want from them? You know, okay. Like, are you sharing the information? Because people that don't have any authority to stop what we're going through, I don't expect anything from them. You know, this is a highly emotional experience that we're going through, and it's between us and God, really, because if you just tell a friend, what are you expecting from that friend? It's overwhelming to us already. What are you expecting from them? If you tell the mayor, then you're expecting something. Maybe you're expecting a bill to be passed, a law to be passed. If you tell the district attorney, you're expecting them to investigate the case and arrest the people. So, I mean, those are things you have to also ask yourself.
Okay.
You know, I don't know
what
else to say.
That's good. Thank you. That's good. You said a mouthful. All right. Absolutely. You have to think about who you're telling and what you expect from them when you start asking questions, when you start telling your story. All right. Thank you for that, Michelle. Michelle from New York. Next, love you too. All right. Next caller. Next caller, please. Please announce yourself, city and state you're from, and why do you think people don't believe us for the most part, TIs?
Hello, this is Daniel from Huntsville, Alabama.
Go ahead, Daniel from Huntsville, Alabama. And lady, you can wait 1 second. You're next. Go ahead, sir.
Roll Tide.
I think some of it is from the misinformation campaign. If people go on the internet, it'll bring up, you know, things that are talking about us being crazy. It points to all of, you know, that are not scientifically proven, and still giving us, you know, our credibility.
Okay. You're breaking up a little bit, but I heard you. You said about it points to the misinformation and the gaps in the information, and the fact that they put out that we're crazy. They put out there, you know, even with Havana syndrome, they tried to put it off on mass psychogenetics, meaning that it was contagious and that people saw other people with Havana syndrome and they were catching it, or so to speak. Just outrageous. But thank God they debunked that. Okay.
Exactly.
Someone else. So thank you, Daniel from Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah.
There was a woman that was waiting. There was a female.
This is Susan again. I just want to add, y'all got to remember, our families and friends are in on this. So if you go and try to tell them, they're going to gaslight you. My brother is trafficking me, come to find out. And I was telling him, I'm getting hit with lights. I can't sleep. People will follow me. And he was like, you're crazy. Come to find out he's the one that's implanted me and trafficking me.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point, Susan.
Exactly.
Thank you for bringing that up. Some of them, the people that we tell, unfortunately, they're in on it. Unfortunately, a lot of them, either they're perked or pressured, and perked or pressured, into going against us. Even though they may love us and they've been with us and they understand and believe that we are genuine, loving people of integrity and so forth. God knows why they slip over. And some, as someone mentioned earlier, it could be mind control. All right, next caller, please. Go ahead. Thank you for that.
My name is Justin. I'm from California. You guys hear me?
Hi, Justin from California. And the woman, 1 second, we'll be right with you. Go ahead, sir.
So if someone calls you crazy or they call you paranoid, to me that's 99% perp. Because a normal person, I'll answer the question too. A normal person, even if they do think you're crazy or paranoid, they're not going to come out and say that to you. A normal person is not going to go up to a crazy person and say, "Oh, you're crazy," because they have a little bit more empathy for people.
Mhm. Okay, good point. Good point. Absolutely. So you think if they do say that, they're probably a perp or part of the program?
What's that?
You're saying, Justin, that if they do say that to you, they're probably a perp or part of the program.
That's exactly right. Because even if a person does think that you're crazy or paranoid, they're not going to come up and tell a crazy or paranoid person that they're crazy and paranoid. So
very good point.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
And at least that's how my targeting goes. And then to answer your question, a lot of these people are told that we're criminals. And there's different levels, that these people are on. Some of them are gang stalkers. Some of them think that they're doing our country a great effort or deal by watching us and because we're criminals. So that's why sometimes the cowards the people in their suits, they go to our family members first and say, oh, he's crazy or he's done X, Y, Z criminality, and we need you to report on him on the phone app. I forgot what it is. It'll probably be discussed later, but we need you to report on this person and hey, here's $30 an hour or here's a new car or whatever they do. So a lot of people are told that we're criminals, and then a lot of people are just, they hear about it and they don't care, and then other people hear about it and it just scares them to death, along with not being able to believe us. So that's my answer. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for sharing that. And if you ever find that answer, that app, I would love to know about that app, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me. I would love to hear about that app that they have to report on. Toya, go ahead.
Yes, hi, I'm Toya from Minnesota, and I say it's because it's a job.
Because it's a job. They're assigned. They're part of the program is what you're saying?
I'm just saying that they're doing these things because it's a job. They're gang stalking because it's a job. They're breaking into your houses because it's a job. There's not always a rule to it. They don't even have to hype some of these people up. There are ways that they actually have want ads and stuff out there for people to do these things. They don't necessarily have to tell them why. It's a job.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Latoya.
Yes,
or Toya. Thank you very much.
Minnesota?
All right. Go ahead, sir.
Is Latoya from Minnesota?
Yes, Toya's from Minnesota. I think you said Toya. Toya, did you say you're from Minnesota?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you got your answer?
Yeah, is there any way that you can meet us, Latoya? There's two of us here in Minnesota.
Okay,
we'll talk about that later if that's okay. Thank you.
All right, so Latoya from Minnesota and the guys and you from Minnesota, if you both send me emails, I'll connect you. The Justice Action Meeting at proton.me. The Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, and I'll connect you. All right.
Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, my pleasure. All right, next caller, please. Anybody else?
This is Justin again. Real quick.
Go ahead,
Justin. It's called Citizen App.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Citizen App. Seems like I heard of that. Thank you. I'll remember that. All right, next caller. Go ahead, ma'am. We hear you. Ma'am, we hear you.
Hello.
I think yes.
Hello.
Go ahead.
This is Regina from Michigan. Hi, Gaji.
Hi, Regina. It's been a long time.
Oh, girl, I got things to tell you, but I think it's word of mouth. I guess the handler spread something to one person, and the one person just go around and tell one. I mean, it's like a, keep going thing. You tell me, and I tell somebody else, and then somebody else tells somebody else. So before you know it, you look, you look like the crazy person that they're saying you are. That's what I think is the word of mouth. Yeah, that's where it started. Yeah, but I'm gonna say this right quick. Thanks for telling me about the camera, because I did catch them in my home, but I didn't catch the head. I didn't catch the head, and I showed the police. But guess what? They took pictures of it. They asked me, do you know this person, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. They've been doing this forever. They've been doing this before. I said, yes. This is not the first time. It's the first time that I showed the picture, but it's not the first time they have done this. But this is as far as it went, because James, when I talked to him, he said they should have did more than that. They ain't do no more. They took pictures of it and made a report about it. That's where it stopped.
And guess what, Regina? You have your documentation. You have your police report. You have the video. You have everything. Save it. Your day in court will come.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad,
good
girl.
job.
I'll party. Thank you.
Good job.
You know what? But you know what? I'll say this quick. They're still coming in. I got a brand new door, girl. They're still coming in. Brand new.
Oh, no. Okay. No, you got something. You got something is vulnerable. Okay, so we'll talk about that at another point. Okay, you got to find that vulnerable spot. Okay. All right, guys.
Okay, thank you.
And also, there's a tape I've learned from Dee Dee, who was on not too long ago. There's a tape that's really good that you can put on your door, and it will. They won't break it, because they know if they break this tape that you will void will come up, and they will know that someone has been in there, which will give you another police report. And usually they don't come in, but we'll talk about that another time. All right, thanks for being on.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Next caller, please, and we're going to turn it. We're going to get ready for the news, guys, because we have a great guest, and I want to make sure we give her all the time. Go ahead,
sir.
This
is Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Hi, Simon. How are you? Go ahead.
Hey, I'm fine, got you. Hey, it was good to meet you in Colorado. I'm African American, and we got a chance to talk for a little while at the brewery place. Yeah. Anyway, Simon, Greensboro, North Carolina, and why don't they believe us? Let's see, I'll try to be fairly quick here. Let's see, it's the slander campaign is part of it, but I think the big thing is, I think that the big thing is that there are assumptions that just aren't true. So I assume that the government is here to protect me, and that's just not true. The job of the government is to sustain itself. So if they feel like communism is coming in, they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure communism doesn't happen. If they feel like people need to be controlled, they're going to do whatever it takes to try to control people, which is part of what the program is about. Let's see, some other assumptions. So one is about the purpose of government. It's not necessarily there to protect me. Another one is some assumptions about what technology is available. There's a lot of technologies I didn't even know existed that is being used on me.
Right.
So assumption that, this technology doesn't exist. You go to talk to me, why don't they believe you? B2K, that doesn't exist. That sounds like that's something crazy. That's something out of the space age. That doesn't exist. So again, assumptions about, wrong assumptions that, that technology doesn't exist, and it certainly does exist.
I love it. Yeah.
Also, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say also, just a lack of knowledge about what the U.S. has been involved in, like how this technology has even been used in wars, right, to get people to surrender in other countries. They thought it was the voice of God. I'm trying to remember which war that was. They thought it was the voice of God. It was just B2K.
Was it Iran or Iraq? I think it was something. Very recent. The Muslim country, they told them to put their hands, their weapons down. This is Allah.
Exactly. This is Allah. You need to surrender. Tell the Americans whatever they want. So I guess the last thing that comes to mind in terms of why people don't believe you is because sometimes there's a sense of desperation, like, please believe me, you gotta believe me. It's just, but if I can remain calm and say, hey, this is what's happening. Here's the evidence. You may not believe me now, but it'll continue to happen, and I'll show you more evidence as it comes up if you're interested. In terms of talking to my family, in terms of talking to the police, I don't try to have as much evidence as possible. But anyway, that's my 2 cents, Gaji. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for your 2 cents, Simon. It was more like 50. But thank you so much. And really, you talked a lot about indoctrination, that we're just indoctrinated to believe, or indoctrined, I have to think about that word, to believe certain things, that America is standing for us. This is our country. It's a free country, and that good old American dream. So we just we're indoctrinated to believe certain things. All right, Roger, I heard your voice, sir. Go ahead.
Hello. How are you guys?
Hi.
Hello,
I'm okay.
everyone.
I'm as well as could be expected. Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. I send peace and blessings to everyone. I want to tell you this, Dr. As a retired military man and understanding this democracy, we are taught from a very young age in subliminally messaging and seeing on TV and all the things in life that America is great. It's about human rights. We even have our legislators saying, we cut off other countries because they're hurting people, whatever. So when we do, and I was silent for so many years, when we do tell someone, you know what, they came in my house, they did this, they cut my wires. You know what? People go, what the hell is wrong with him? I've had people that were friends for 35 years, all that. They cannot even imagine this happening because it's brought to our attention since babies that this is America, the land of the free, and we are about human rights. So when we say to them, this is happening to me, and then they drive you kind of like crazy like they did me until I popped out of it by God's grace, then you realize you can't really tell everybody. You just keep it to yourself, and then you hopefully get evidence to prove the fact, okay, this has happened. When people started to believe me was when I purchased another home, we went through the walkthrough, and all my wires were cut. And there were almost 5 feet of water in my basement in a brand new home. And that's how it happened to me. But, I mean, it's so sad because we're trained to think this is America. This is, we're about human rights. Well, guess what? You can't even imagine this would happen. That's all I have to say. God bless.
God bless. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you so much for that, Roger. Go ahead, sir.
Gaji, can I just say, this is Wayne Hamilton. I just wanted to let everybody know, if you go to Truth Finder, you can find out if you're on a government watch list or not. I looked up my name, and I'm on a government watch list. And you can do that for free.
Right. I'm not sure how that stands up because a lot of the information there, for example, they probably have some wrong addresses, wrong this, that, and the other. But it would be good to take that a little further and see what happens. But we have someone today who has her official watch list number. All right, so you can take that a little further. If you could get down to your watch list number, let me know, Wayne. All right, thank you for that, though. All right, thank you. Next person, and then we're going to close it down because we have a jam-packed schedule, guys. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have something.
Gaji, this is Mary.
Go ahead. Who was that? I hear you. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to make an announcement. I talked to Amy Holm today, and she just wants everyone to know that if you try to contact her and you can't reach her, right now they're expecting a storm and they're in the eye of the storm. So if you cannot get through to her, that means she lost the power. So she just wanted everybody to know that.
Thank you, ma'am. Mary, I'm going to take you real quick. You're a duplicate, so just be quick, please, and we're going to close down.
Okay, the word fantastical is going around a lot with the enemies, and because it really does seem fantastical, the things that are happening to us. But as technology changes, they're going to not be able to use that excuse anymore.
Okay. Thank you. All right, guys. So let's settle down. It's 8:10. We are beyond our time, so we have just a little bit of news. I pulled it down so that we don't have too many, so we could get straight to our guests. I hear somebody talking while I'm talking. That means you have something to say, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yes, I heard someone say it's from Greensboro. I'm in Winston-Salem. I was wondering if you would like to meet up.
Okay, what's your name, ma'am?
My name is Ola.
Ola?
Yes.
Okay, so send me an email at the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, and I will get you in touch with Simon. That is who is from Greensboro, North Carolina. The Justice Action Meeting at proton.me. Ola, I look forward to hearing from you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's close it down. Let's get ready. Thank you, guys. Really exciting beginning to tonight's show, and thank you for active participation. And we're going to get ready with the news. We don't have a lot because I want to make sure that we get to where we're going. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with Lady T. You ready? You with me?
I'm with you, GoGi.
All right, okay. So we found this these apology letters. That's our focus tonight. And just as we were talking about that the government has, it's not new that they've been involved with experiments. So we have apology letters, 2 apology letters, and guess who ends up presenting them is former President Clinton. So he did one apology letter we're going to hear about, and I want us to make sure we listen to the depth and the cruelty of the program, of the experiments, and the years. Let me say this when I say the program. The Targeted Individual Program is the title of the program given by the FBI. So I'm saying it because it's legally correct. And when I say targeted individual, as opposed to the wonderful names that we like to refer to ourselves as, and please hold them dear to you, treasured individuals and so forth. Targeted individual is the legal or legitimate name for who we are. We're not just giving that name to ourselves. All right, so let's take a listen to this apology letter about the radiation, sound familiar, experiment from back in the day. All right, Lady T, ready? Okay.
This report I received today is a monumental document in more ways than one. But it is a very, very important piece of American history, and it will shape America's future in ways that will make us a more honorable, more successful, and more ethical country. What this committee learned, I would like to review today with a little more detail than Dr. Fader said, because I think it must be engraved on our national memory. Thousands of government-sponsored experiments did take place at hospitals, universities, and military bases around our nation. The goal was to understand the effects of radiation exposure on the human body. While most of the tests were ethical by any standards, some were unethical, not only by today's standards, but by the standards of the time in which they were conducted. They failed both the test of our national values and the test of humanity. Informed consent means your doctor tells you the risk of the treatment you are about to undergo. In too many cases, informed consent was withheld. Americans were kept in the dark about the effects of what was being done to them. The deception extended beyond the test subjects themselves to encompass their families and the American people as a whole. For these experiments were kept secret, and they were shrouded not for a compelling reason of national security, but for the simple fear of embarrassment, and that was wrong. So today, on behalf of another generation of American leaders, and another generation of American citizens, the United States of America offers a sincere apology to those of our citizens that were subjected to these experiments, to their families, and to their communities. When the government does wrong, we have a moral responsibility to admit it. The duty we owe to one another to tell the truth and to protect our fellow citizens from excesses like these is one we can never walk away from. Our government failed in that duty, and it offers an apology to the survivors and their families, and to all the American people who must be able to rely upon the United States to keep its word, to tell the truth, and to do the right thing. Make no mistake, as the committee report says, there are circumstances where compensation is appropriate as a matter of ethics and principle. I am committed to seeing to it that the United States of America lives up to its responsibility. Our greatness is measured not only in how we so frequently do right, but also how we act when we know we've done the wrong thing, how we confront our mistakes, make our apologies, and take action. That's why this morning I signed an executive order instructing every arm and agency of our government that conducts, supports, or regulates research involving human beings to review immediately their procedures in light of the recommendations of this report and the best knowledge and standards available today, and to report back to me by Christmas.
All right. Thank you for that, Lady T. So there was an apology for the experiment which was done, and the fact that they took ownership, that it was wrong and unethical. And one thing that was problematic for me is that they promised compensation for some of the subjects. I'm not sure exactly why, not all, but I did hear that some of the records were lost. I had an idea that maybe we should do a FOIA and ask for all, there were 4,000 subjects, and ask for all of the names of the subjects, because what if, for some reason, our grandparents or great-grandparents were a part of this evil experiment? So the thing about it is it happened, and I didn't hear the years, but I remember from my understanding, I want to say 1944 through 74 or something like that. But the years it went back into the 40s up to the 70s. That's how long they experimented with radiation on people. It's just totally evil. So, again, when we ask the question, why don't people believe us, get out this apology letter. Find it. Somebody mentioned evidence. How about this? You know, it was done before. Why do you have a hard time believing that it's happening again? And this time, we're finding out in real time, because guess what? We're in an instant society. We're in an instant world. We have microwaves now. The word gets from one place to another. We don't have to wait for the horse to get there and carry the message across the world. Okay, so the word can get from here to Timbuktu instantly. So we're finding out in real time exactly what's going on with us, and we have wise people that are working with us and helping us to find out these things. Okay, thank you so much for that, Lady T. And then there was another experiment, and there was another apology, and the same president did that apology. All right, I'm ready. Are you ready? Sorry.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Right, all right, thank you.
The 8 men who are survivors of the syphilis study at Tuskegee are a living link to a time not so very long ago that many Americans would prefer not to remember, but we dare not forget. It was a time when our nation failed to live up to its ideals, when our nation broke the trust with our people that is the very foundation of our democracy. It is not only in remembering that shameful past that we can make amends and repair our nation, but it is in remembering that past that we can build a better present and a better future. And without remembering it, we cannot make amends and we cannot go forward. So today, America does remember the hundreds of men used in research without their knowledge and consent. We remember them and their family members. Men who were poor and African American, without resources and with few alternatives. They believed they had found hope when they were offered free medical care by the United States Public Health Service. They were betrayed. Medical people are supposed to help when we need care. Even once a cure was discovered, they were denied help, and they were lied to by their government. Our government is supposed to protect the rights of its citizens. Their rights were trampled upon. 40 years, hundreds of men betrayed, along with their wives and children, along with a community in Macon County, Alabama, the city of Tuskegee, the fine university there, and the larger African American community. The United States government did something that was wrong, deeply, profoundly, morally wrong. It was an outrage to our commitment to integrity and equality for all our citizens. To the survivors, to the wives and family members, the children and the grandchildren, I say what you know. No power on earth can give you back the lives lost, the pain suffered, the years of internal torment and anguish. What was done cannot be undone, but we can end the silence. We can stop turning our heads away. We can look at you in the eye and finally say, on behalf of the American people, what the United States government did was shameful, and I am sorry. The 8 men who are...
Okay, so that was the apology for the Tuskegee experiment, where, as you hear, the men were betrayed and lied to. They were supposed to get help for syphilis, and they were offered free care, and they were not doing anything. They were actually watching to see how bad it would get and what would happen if syphilis went untreated. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way than betraying and hurting the constituents that you serve. It's just pure evil. So, all right. So at this point, we're going to take a minute for a commercial break, and we have 2 more before we go into action and hear our guests. All right. So commercial break, please.
Are you feeling like something strange is happening in your life? You tell others, but nobody believes you? Well, get ready to uncover the truth with GoGi Justice's groundbreaking book, GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual. GoGi Justice, an everyday person just like you, has written a book that exposes the covert illegal activities happening right under our noses. With a writing style that's raw, honest, and relatable, GoGi takes you on a journey through the dark world of targeted individuals. You'll ask yourself if you are experiencing these signs. Learn about infiltration, gang stalking, privacy violations, and even hacked home appliances. GoGi's book is a beacon of hope, providing encouragement, tips, and resources for those who find themselves trapped in this nightmare. It's time to fight back and regain control of your life. So if you're tired of feeling isolated, unheard, and targeted, grab a copy of GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual. Available now on Amazon.com and the Targeted Justice Etsy shop. Don't let them silence you any longer. Take the first step towards understanding, empowerment, and freedom. Get your copy today and join the movement. GoGi Justice's book, A Voice for the Targeted Individuals.
All right. Don't forget to get your book available on Etsy and Amazon. All right. Thank you, everybody. So here we go. The next choice that we have for you, the audio clip, is about smart meters. And we are hearing how they are harmful to us. You need to think about, did you get an option to have them or not have them? Someone mentioned to me that they're supposed to do a study. Did they do a study? Did they show you the results of the study? There's a way also that if you have electromagnetic sensitivity, then you can have that documented and presented. So there's so many things you could do. I won't even tell you what's going on with me and my never-ending battle, because I was able to change it and then not. So it's been very interesting. But, I like to talk about things once I have a testimony. So once we're done, I'll let you know. All right, so can we play that clip, please, Lady T?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty.
The new smart utility meters are being installed on the side of millions of homes, but some homeowners claim it's making them sick.
Energy companies say that smart meters are really the future, but more people are coming forward concerned about what they believe the devices are doing. Here's 7 investigator Jonathan Carlson.
Cheryl Garcia showed us the smart meters on the back of her Rochester Hills home, but she says she's scared to stand near it for too long.
Letting know headaches, vertigo, nausea, insomnia.
Are the symptoms she says she's suffered from since she moved in.
Within the 6 months, I started having these health issues.
She blames it all on the meters, which use electromagnetic frequency to send DTE Energy power usage data. She even showed us letters from her doctors asking DTE to allow her to opt out of the new meters.
Right now, we don't have a choice and an option.
She's not alone. 7 Action News has been reporting on this debate for some time. Last year, we heard from other Metro Detroiters.
Feeling like your head is in a vice. Tinnitus in my ears, and a little bit of ringing in my ears.
But DTE contends the meters are safe and secure low-power radio transmissions are used. They also say they've only gotten a small number of complaints. Garcia believes that's because the public isn't aware of what the meters are doing. At least one state representative has stepped forward showing concern the issue could end up in Lansing. We're in Rochester Hills tonight. I'm Jonathan Carlson, 7 Action News.
All right, so a little pushback from the energy companies. They want to keep those smart meters in our homes, but people are not going and saying, I'm a targeted individual and I don't want a smart meter. No, they're talking about the symptoms, the things that happen to their body, and that's the way to do it. You request the meter to be changed to an analog meter, and you either pay for them to do it and it'll be their analog meter, or you buy your own analog meter and you put that in. So it is something that should be an option. Read the fine print with your energy company and start your battle, okay? And when you start your battle, don't say, well, they did it for this one. No, just start your battle. Make phone calls, document who you speak to, what time you spoke to that person, this and that. Keep consistent and stay at it until you get it. And one of the places, the place where I'm in touch with, is Electra Health, and I know that the analog meters are true analog meters, but there are several others as well, so work on that. All right, if you choose to, if you feel that, it will be helpful to you. All right, and our last news item is actually an article, and Major P is going to present it. Major P, are you ready? Major P, are you muted?
I'm muted, and I'm ready.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am, please.
I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second, and I'll have it.
Okay, guys, so just to set it up, this is about how they see through walls. How they use Wi-Fi, I think is the title, to see through walls. Go ahead, Major P.
Okay, I still don't have it up. Give me just 1 second. and
no problem.
Get it up. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to mention one thing while you're doing that. I'm going to jump to the few of the actions that we want to talk about. One of them I want to say is we've begun to collect phones. The TI, and just like it was Craigslist, it was Craig who I gave my first phone to, but there's a group of us, we've been collecting phones that we could give to TIs that are in need, stranded without a phone. I know of one right now, and if she'll call me, you know who you are, then we have a phone for you. And I know Roger collected 7, Ferretta has a few, and somebody else told me, oh my goodness, why did I start naming? I'll have to remember that third person. But we have about 15 phones, and we do a factory reset, and the person has to be able to ship it, to mail it. So that means the TI has to have a place to receive it, and we'll also send either a SIM card or something so that they can get started. All right, so that's what we're doing with our phone drive. And are you ready, Major P?
I am ready.
Okay,
right, the title of this article is entitled "Scientists Can Now Use Wi-Fi to See Through People's Walls." Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University can map human bodies through walls using Wi-Fi signals. The technology tracks key points of the body for detection, extending previous research into using Wi-Fi signals to locate humans. The study's authors position the breakthrough as helpful to privacy, even if it opens the possibilities for much easier, cheaper human tracking. It isn't immediately clear how using only a Wi-Fi signal to track human movement through walls improves personal privacy, but that's what a new study from Carnegie Mellon University claims. In a recently published paper, the researchers expanded on the study of employing Wi-Fi signals to map human movement, especially in low-light situations that make using other technologies less than desirable. They write, "We developed a deep neural network that maps the phase and amplitude of Wi-Fi signals to UV coordinates within 24 human regions. The results of the study reveal that our model can estimate the dense pose of multiple subjects with comparable performance to image-based approaches by utilizing Wi-Fi signals as the only input. The pathway opens the options for low-cost, broadly accessible human tracking through walls. High-cost technology has successfully mapped people's movements through walls for years, and researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have spent over a decade working on ways to more easily see people through walls, whether using cell phone signals or Wi-Fi. In the Carnegie Mellon study, scientists had Wi-Fi signals send and receive a body's coordinates and then use dense pose to map the body. By reducing the need for the advanced and expensive technology, the Carnegie Mellon researchers say they can make human tracking more available. Somehow, they're also positioned the breakthrough as a privacy-positive situation.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Major P. You know, I think the takeaway there, since they're studying this and working on it, why they say it's going to help with privacy, I don't know. But when you get ready to go to bed and all that and do quiet stuff and personal things, turn off your Wi-Fi. So if Wi-Fi is helping, then we need to eliminate our Wi-Fi TIs. And also, the everybody needs to consider this study and what it means, and we need to keep our eye on this and where it's going. Thank you for that, Major P. And Major P, there's an initiative that you mentioned that your group is doing. I want you to just take a minute and share about that because we're moving to action and our guests. Go ahead.
Okay. There's a group of Indiana women that we are, well, let me start from the beginning. Our state has a law against microchipping, and the majority of us do have microchips. Basically, what we're doing is we are addressing a letter to the governor, EPA, and we're filing a complaint against the FCC. There's one letter that's going to go, which probably has about 3 paragraphs, the introduction, and basically with the introduction, we're stating the bill and the fact that it's not enacted, and then the body of the letter, it goes on to tell them basically, you know, that we basically need the law. And in summary, we're telling them some of the things that they can do in order to make some corrections. That particular letter is going to the governor, the EPA, the Indiana State Attorney, the FBI, and the Chief of Police. And we're going to, because we think we have enough evidence, we're going to file a complaint with the FCC against the FCC. Once we send the letter, we're going to certify these we're going to make sure we mail them certified mail. We're going to wait 2 weeks. We're going to try to get an appointment, and if we're not successful, then we're going to go to the, give me 1 second, to the internal, we're going to file a complaint with the internal affairs, which is over the police officers. And the real goal is to get the law enforced, and if we're not successful there, then we're going to sue the city, the state, and the governor for their election of duty.
All right. Thank you for that. Activism at its best. Activism in motion, okay, guys? So let's keep it going. Groups are forming. People are doing things. I want to just give a salute to you, Major P, and your group in Indiana, all the ladies there that's working on that. Absolutely wonderful. And it happens to be all ladies that I've heard about that are doing FOIAs and letters, and G.I. Jane and Kim and Samia. Guys, I'm enjoying what I'm hearing. Letters, cease and desist, FOIAs, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we have a lot of motion, and it's so important that we bring attention to this. We're also assembling for Boots Across America. I'm not sure what the name of it's going to be, but Major P and Roger, I call him Mr. Big, they're going to work on putting people on the same day across America to talk up to bring awareness to what's going on with us. So we'll keep you posted because we're going to need your presence. We're going to need banners and signs and need you out there so that we can bring attention to what we're going through. All right? And the billboards will help. Maria's working with billboards, and she's willing to put the first one up. We've decided to let Washington, D.C., where the elected officials meet and congregate and come so that they can see this billboard and know what we're doing on our Boots Across America Day. So if you want to be a part of any of it, please let me know. And don't forget Lynn's letters to the J.A.M. project, which are letters that you want to participate or have attached to any elected official letters that we create. And the resource directory, send information about what's going on for free around your city, around your area, so TIs can benefit from it. And I think that's the last item. Great. We're going to do one thing for birthdays. We're going to have announcements, and then the next voice you hear will be me talking with Lajuana. All right, let's go with the birthdays. Sure, Dan.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This birthday poem is dedicated to multi-generational T.I., Regina, who recently memorialized her beloved son, and it's also to all October-born T.I.s. And it's called Do Birthdays Add Wisdom? A birthday is a gateway between old years and new, just an opening to the future where we get a wider view. Every year brings new dimensions that enable us to see all things within a kinder light and more perceptively. So birthdays are the gateway what the future holds, and to greater understanding as the story of life unfolds. And this is Scripture, 1 Kings 4 through 29 through 30. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding beyond measure, and largeness of mind like the sand on the seashore, so that Solomon's wisdom surpassed the wisdom of all the people in the east and all the wisdom of Egypt. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Dan. Announcements, please.
We have a short announcements video for you, so if you can, take a peek at your screens, please.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Week in TI Events. On behalf of GoGi, I'm excited to share the latest events and initiatives she is leading to support our community. First up, don't miss the Targeted Justice Houston TI meeting this Saturday, October 12th from 9 to 11 a.m. Central at Onion Creek Restaurant. It's a great opportunity to connect, share experiences, and offer support. If you think you might be a targeted individual, check out GoGi's book, GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual, available on Amazon and the Targeted Justice Etsy shop. To stay updated on Targeted Justice, follow them on Rumble by typing Real Targeted Justice into the search bar and hitting follow. While you're there, don't forget to check out the TI World Day video, a documentary that premiered on August 29th, 2024. Please share it to raise awareness. And of course, keep up with GoGi on YouTube and TikTok, where you'll find recordings of past Justice Action meetings and other valuable content. I'd now like to highlight a new petition led by Attorney Anna Toledo, calling for an end to the Targeted Individual Unacknowledged Special Access Program. Visit the TI Events petitions page to sign and support this important cause. While you're there, be sure to check out other petitions related to TI issues. GoGi is also leading several important initiatives, starting with billboard donations. Help fund TI awareness billboards across the U.S. If you're interested in contributing, email the J.A.M project at proton.me with billboard donation in the subject line. Moving on to boots on the ground demonstrations, join TI demonstrations at Attorney General's offices across the U.S. If you'd like to participate, email the J.A.M project at proton.me with boots on the ground in the subject line. GoGi is also collecting old phones for TIs. Donate an old phone for a TI in need. If you have a phone to donate, email the J.A.M project at proton.me with phone donation in the subject line. And lastly, GoGi is developing a brand new resource directory to help TIs find services like food banks and shelters. If you know of any resources that should be included, email the J.A.M project at proton.me with resource directory in the subject line. And just a quick reminder from GoGi, don't forget to do your J.A.M homework and stay engaged with the community. If you're hosting or know of any events to list at TI Events, please email me at tievents@protonmail.com. Thank you all for tuning in, and a special thanks to GoGi for these important initiatives. For more details, visit tievents.org and sign up for email updates. Until next time, this is Tranquility Signing off and wishing you all waves of positivity. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
All right, Tranquility. Thank you for those J.A.M announcements and TI events announcements. Love it, love it, love it. All right, guys, the moment we've been waiting for, Lajuana. All right, so Lajuana is a retired data specialist from University of California, Berkeley, and she has some exciting things going on and exciting tips and news and so much information for you guys. What she's been doing over the past few years, I just absolutely love. I want to walk in your footsteps, Lajuana. When I grow up, I want to be just like you. Let's go. So are you there with us?
I'm here, GoGi. How are you?
All right. I'm as well as can be expected under the circumstances. So I'm so glad that you could make it in, and so glad that you opted to be here on the J.A.M tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So I like to, start a little intimately with my interviews, and I want to just ask you, when you were a little girl, and I know I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a nun and a lawyer.
Wow, look at that. I don't know if you're close to being a nun, but I know you're doing some law work. That's beautiful, and it's so funny how we end up doing some of the things that, we really wanted to do when we were young. That's so beautiful. All right. And now I know that you are a TI, and so I wanted to ask you, when did you think your targeting started, and for what reason?
Well, my targeting, when I look back at my life, it's been going on since foster care. Okay. And when I look at the big picture, but I didn't realize I was really targeted until 2013. Prior to that, things had been happening where it was hard for me to get justice. It's like, why are things so difficult? Why are these things happening? Why don't people like me? Why are people following me? Just all those different things. And it wasn't until 2013 when it really took off that I started piecing it all together.
Okay, so in 2013, you realized that something strange was happening. Did you think it was your fault? Like, did you think it was something you did?
No, I never attributed it to anything that I did, because I don't do people wrong, Okay. I just figured I didn't know if it was like, why are people at work acting crazy, or why are they being mean to me, or why are these people were just being so rude and me everywhere I went, everything I did. I didn't understand what was happening, but I knew something bigger than the immediate was going on. And, I like the topic where you said, why don't they believe us? You're asking, why don't they believe us? Mm-hmm. And for me, I didn't care what they believed. All from the beginning, I didn't care what they believed, because I knew it was left up to me to try to figure out what is going on, present the evidence. This is what it is. Now, this is what you need to do to leave me alone. It's not open for debate, for discussion. And I realize, and I hope I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, but the biggest threat to this program is not caring what they think. Because a targeted individual who does not care what they think will just tell the truth. But you have to be strategic in telling the truth in such a way that it makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, I get it.
I see. Yeah, I think that is correct. I remember they said this is, now I don't know if this is rumor or what, but there was a person they were trying to target, and nothing affected him, like the gang stalking and this and that, and they didn't, they like left him alone. I would love to really get my fingers on that and, sink my fingers into that one, and so I would love for him to come or her to come on the show, but I heard there was a person like that. So yes, not caring what they think, and also our unity, because they really expected us to be alone and isolated and not empowered. So the information that we share here together, and by just us being together, it goes against the program. And this is a big, big threat to them. Everything that you're going to say tonight also threatens the program. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So thank you for that. Yeah. So I know that you have been involved in, well, I know that you have your watch list number, and that's like a priceless thing, especially for the targeted individual. So can you tell us how you happened upon it?
Oh, boy, I tell you. It wasn't easy, but it was easy. I went through a lot. I was kidnapped. You know, some people, you know, the police would like to call it that I was arrested. But it wasn't just a false arrest. It was what I call an administrative kidnapping. And by that I mean the police, the man next, I moved here. I lived here before in this block, moved away when the gang stalking took off, sold my home. And then once I looked at the video footage and the surveillance that I had captured once I moved away, I'm like, wait a minute. These people where I used to live were part of it when I started looking at the video. And so I said, God, end this. I need this to end. So, and if it's meant for me to go back to this place, make a way. Because I needed to expose this crime, because I knew who the perpetrators were once I moved away. And it just so happens a friend of mine was selling her house. And at the same time that I was selling my house in the other city, and so I was able to move back to the same block that I had sold my other house on. And so when I moved back, I knew who the perpetrators were. And once I got back here, all I had to do was just live my life and allow these people to do what they do, gang stalk, harass, and what have you. And the house that I moved is directly across the street from the house I used to live at, but the person next door, he was growing cannabis, illegal cannabis. And for me, I'm clean and sober. I don't smoke, drink, or anything, and the odor was really getting to me. So I anonymously called code enforcement, made a complaint. Hey, this dude next door is growing illegal cannabis. Can you do something about the stench? I didn't care if he was growing it. I just didn't want to smell it, and I was smelling it 24/7 as soon as I moved in. So what I didn't know at the time was the guy who's growing illegal cannabis. Well, his cousin is the Oakland police who's over the cannabis unit. And from there, I had no idea. And I didn't figure this out till probably almost 2 years later. Okay? So anyway, so after I made the complaint, things started happening. The guy started calling the police, just making things up. And I'm telling the police, hey, he's making false 911 calls. And I was shocked when the police told me, well, we can't arrest everyone who lies. And then I said, but he's growing illegal cannabis. They said, well, he said he has a license. And I knew, and like I said, from the start, I started documenting. Okay, this is happening, this is not cool.
Great.
I didn't say anything to anyone. I just started documenting and videotaping. And then I caught him flushing something onto my property, and I caught him on video. I'm like, what is he doing? And so I, calling the agencies, like the sewer maintenance or just different agencies to find out what this man is flushing onto my property, some type of toxic waste. I didn't know it was the cannabis waste that he was flushing onto my property along with his poop from his dog, right? So anyway,
wow.
The guy, I know, right? And so after I had told the police the first time that he was making false 911 calls, I had no more interaction with them except for when I called them to say he's flushing stuff onto my property. Well, they took a watered-down report. They really didn't report anything. They didn't investigate. They didn't do anything, and they just went about their way. And so I think it was like maybe 33 days later, the Alameda County Sheriff's Department show up at my house, and they served me with a domestic violence temporary restraining order. I'm like, what is this? And it was the man next door. He had claimed domestic violence based on his perceived disability, and he wasn't 65 years old. He was 60 at the time. And I'm like, oh, God, what is this, right? And so I'm thinking, okay, I'll just deal with this when I get to court, because I don't know this man. I had never even been in the same room or building as this man. So how can this be elder abuse and domestic violence? So anyway, I just figured, okay, so I'll just deal with this when I get to court. Well, 4 days after I was served, now I have contractors here remodeling the interior. I have a plumbing company outside putting in my new sewer lateral. Just a lot of contracting going on, running to the bank, shopping for materials and what have you. And I get home that evening. Okay, my contractor, we finish up everything and they're gone. The police show up. I'm like, I know this man didn't file another false police report. Right? So I go outside and I seen the police woman. I said, did he file another false police report against me? And she said, are you Lajuana? I said, yes. She said, stay right there. Me, like a dummy, I stood right there. I don't know any better. I don't have a criminal record. I don't have any reason to run or hide. I'm like, I just want to know, what is he doing now? Because he had threatened me, this time, like pulled up in front of my house saying, you want to suffer? Do you? Because I can make you suffer. And I'm just like, this guy is just out of control. And he was just doing little things to violate my property. Okay? And so when the police came back like 5 or 10 minutes later, they said, so you were on your porch screaming at him this morning? What are you talking about? Nothing happened this morning. I watered my grass. What about my day? Well, he said that you were screaming at him, calling him gang stalker, and saying his mother's name. I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, well, based on what he's telling us, we're going to have to arrest you.
Oh, my God.
Wow. But I knew coming back that they would do this. And I knew in my heart that the police were behind it, but I just couldn't prove it. So they arrested me. I remained, and this is for the TI community. When we have these interactions with people, with these agencies in the police department, it is best to not respond, to remain calm. And the importance of remaining, I am so glad I did, because I guess they were expecting me to who wouldn't be upset about being arrested? You've been out all day shopping, you got all kinds of things going on, and then you come home and now you're being arrested for violating a temporary restraining order for domestic violence against someone you have no relation to, you've never even had a conversation with, a meaningful conversation aside from neighbor hi and bye in the beginning. And so they arrested me. I remained calm. They kept the policewoman kept her body cam camera on me. I just thought I could just feel the energy. I felt like I knew it was a setup, but I just couldn't prove it. So I just went along with it. They took me to the jail. They told me, and I was making phone calls. I was calling my ex-husband to get me out, and they were telling me, well, you can't make another phone call, because they knew I was about to bail out unless you take this shot. So they forced me to take a TB shot, or I couldn't use the phone to bail out. So I took the shot. Okay, it is what it is.
And I'm kidding. Wait a minute. Don't you get a free call?
I did. And they told me, and so we were working everything out and talking with the bail sponsor. But when I guess they were listening in, and they said, okay, she's getting ready to be bailed out, so we have to, amp this up. Because they were telling me, we're going to have to do a psychological exam on you. I'm like, for what? It didn't make it, none of it made sense. And so, fortunately, my ex-husband came and got me, bailed me out. I had a $20,000 bail for a crime that did not happen.
Wow, that is unreal. And especially the shot. You had to take a shot. That's so invasive. I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah. Well, they said it was a TB shot. I don't know how true it was, but, they were just, really rushing it. We have a psychiatrist coming in. What do you have? I'm saying to myself, what do they have a psychiatrist coming in for? Because I remained calm. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? There was nothing out, just out there that would warrant a psychological exam. But, I mean, this is the program. I know I'm targeted, so I'm just playing along with it. Just, okay, I'm letting them do what they do. Because, see, I knew that I was going to catch them on the back end. And when I say catch them on the back end is when this crime starts unfolding. So, anyway, So once I get out, okay, the court hearing happens for this temporary restraining order. And the whole purpose of this was to arrest me before the temporary restraining order hearing happened, because once you get to court, they're going to say, well, we served her with a restraining order. She didn't stop, and so we had to even arrest her before we even got to court. So, therefore, it's obvious this man needs protection against this little woman. This 6'2", 350-pound man needs protection against this 5'2", 130-pound woman. So, anyway... it took two court hearings for this temporary restraining order, because after he filed one against me and I had went to jail, it's like, okay, I got to get some type of protection, because I was afraid to even come home to my home. So once I got to court, and the judge looked at all the evidence, and she said, well, you know what? I'm going to deny. She denied his restraining order, and she gave him a warning that, listen, if Miss Reed has to come back here about you, I'm going to give her a restraining order against you. But I also think it's important for targeted individuals to know, when we go to court, you cannot go alone. Because I've had a situation where a woman was gang stalking me. I went to court alone. They moved it to a separate courtroom, and the judge was a perp. Therefore, when you have people and witnesses with you, they're less likely to do that. I took my daughter, my husband, and my neighbor. One of my neighbors with me. And the same thing when it comes to doctor's appointments. It's important that we don't go alone. We cannot go it alone ever, because they pull all kind of things. But so anyway, so the
wait, I want to stay there for 1 second. I think that is a really good tip. Going to doctor's appointments, going anywhere alone, and unfortunately, so many of us are in this predicament where we live alone, or we're living in our cars and so forth. But we really have to buddy up more. It adds a layer of protection, and I know it's hard for us to get along, but we have to begin getting along and buddying up. All right, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Also, I want to give this tip. When you go to the doctor, or you're dealing with police or what have you, it's important that we go in there with a notebook and a pen. And while they're talking, we take notes, because they're intimidated by that. They're like, oh, shoot, she's on it. He's on it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they're thinking, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to get away with it.
Right.
And
you know what? You know what else, Lajuana? They know if you're taking notes and writing that you're level-headed. They can't sit up here and say you're crazy. You know what I mean? It adds something to the meeting. So good. Yeah, I like that. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And whenever I go to the doctor, I take my husband with me, and he goes into the exam room with me, and he's there, and he's just a really quiet guy. So he's there, but he's recording the whole time, but they don't know it, because as a victim, as a victim of a crime, we have a right to record. Even in California, where it has to be two-party, there is that one exception that you can record if you're the victim of a crime, and you're gaining and you're trying to get evidence against this to expose this crime.
Right.
So I think that's important. And then once I get these recordings, I always go to Scribey, download it, and then have a transcription done. So I have it on. So I have it on file. And
beautiful.
So after the temporary restraining order was dismissed, I'm thinking, okay, so I was arrested, and there's no way the district attorney is going to file charges against me. This thing was dismissed, right? I proved that he was lying. November 1st, the DA files charges against me.
Wow.
Criminal charges for a crime that never happened.
Wow.
I could not believe. And at that point, I was just devastated. And they were trying to get me to take a plea deal. I'm not taking a plea deal. For what? I didn't do anything. Nothing happened. He made it all up. And fortunately for me, I I met a wonderful attorney, Ray Schumann, and I had the public defender, but Ray came on board. He dissected the evidence. He worked with the public defender. It's like, and pointed out all the discrepancies in this guy's story, right? And
I've heard of him. He's worked with a few TIs. So go ahead. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got the case dismissed. Okay. And so once the case got dismissed, let me tell you why it got dismissed. Because they didn't want to believe that the DA was just adamant about, trying to get a conviction for something that never happened. But what I did, and this is important for the TI community to know, what I did was I let this guy next door and the other gang stalkers just do what they do, and I documented. Now, I noticed that the guy next door, the one who had me arrested / kidnapped, he was drilling posts into my fence. I'm like, okay, what is he up to? Oh, he's going to try to cover up, block the light in the air from coming into my home, because he wanted a reaction because I wasn't giving him anything. And so that's why it's important not to give these perps anything. So right before the final court hearing, before the case got dismissed, of course they need to amp it up because they need a reaction to say, see, she did this. This is who she is. And I didn't react. And my husband, he was like, she's drilling into our fence. We got to stop. No. We're going to let him do what he does. And so I like to, I don't know if of course you remember, like in The Color Purple, when Miss Seeley sat in the kitchen and she just watched Mr., mess up the kitchen and what have you. I got a chair and I sat in my kitchen just like Miss Seeley. I pulled my shade up, opened up my window, and I let this guy climb up on a ladder, and he covered my windows where I could not see outside. And I just recorded him.
Oh, my God.
I didn't open my mouth. I didn't say a word. He's calling me all kind of names. I didn't say anything. So when I took this to the court, the DA had to dismiss it. And so after they dismissed it, then I went to and filed the temporary restraining order to show the court. And so because of COVID kicked in, and it dragged out the temporary restraining order, they kept extending it. So when the case was finally heard and Ray represented me in that case, the judge said, I'm granting Ms. Reed a 2-year restraining order against this man, not because of what her attorney said or what she testified to. I'm going based on what I seen with my own eyes. This man on a ladder blocking air and light from coming into her home. So that was, I was like, it was just, I'm like, okay, the tables are finally turning, right? Mm-hmm. Or so I thought. Okay, so of course, being a perp, he violated the restraining order time and time again. When I would call the police, they wouldn't do anything. Like, what the heck is going on? I still hadn't made the connection to the police department because I hadn't gotten the body cam or what have you. And then Ray told me, he said, and this is one of the best tips he gave me, because, the name of his firm is the Legal Co-op. And the co-op means it's up to the targeted individual to do their part. And he told me from the beginning, Lajuana, no one can tell your story better than you. So therefore, it was important for me to gather the evidence. He said, okay, I need you to file your FOIA request and just the different things to do, mainly the FOIA request. And from when I started filing the Freedom of Information Act request, that's when things began to unfold. It's like, oh, my God. The criminal conspiracy began unfolding, and it showed itself on paper, meaning, okay, I'm filing these requests. They're taking their time getting things to me. What is going on? 536 days before they gave me the incident report. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, something is really going on. Oh, here's another tip, is that if targeted individuals have any interaction with the police, it's important to get the incident report, the crime report, if they release it, and any reports that go along with it. Because what you will find is you will have a lot of police officers on those reports. They may not have been there. They probably weren't there, but it's important for them to get their names on these reports because they can get credit and promotions based on being on a report with the name of a targeted individual.
Oh, wow.
So this is how they climb the ladder.
On our backs. Very interesting.
Our backs. Exactly. So fast forward, when I finally got the body cam footage, I'm looking at it, and it opens up with them on his porch. This is the day of, my kidnapping, them on his porch. They didn't show how they arrived. They just showed the police are on his porch. They don't have him in the picture. They only have, they capture a glimpse of his hand, no audio. And then all of a sudden, they disperse, walk off his porch. He runs in his house. 3 seconds later, they turn back up onto his porch. They turn on the audio, and they begin this scripted fake victim interview. I'm like, oh, my God, this is street theater captured on police body cam. They rehearsed it, then they dispersed, and came back together 3 seconds later and pretending to meet up for the first time. And he says, okay, sir, so what is your name? And what time did this happen?
The police involved in street theater. Wow.
Exactly. And they were coaching him. They were putting the false narrative together because once I got the incident report and I started dissecting it, I'm like, wait a minute. During this time, they said they conducted a field interview. Well, what's a field interview? Oh, that's when they meet with the informant prior to taking the official fake victim statement. So the evidence is there. It's like, oh, my God. So anyway, so they were so caught up in the body cam acting and this creating this false narrative, and the police is saying he's coaching him through this. He said, and she was on her porch, and she was looking directly at you. He said, yeah, and she was hiding like this, and so the police are coaching him through this.
Oh my God. Oh God.
And when they get to my house, they tell me, well, you were on your porch this morning screaming at it. I said, no, I wasn't. I was watering my grass. Nothing happened. What are you talking about? And it just so happened it was a third police who came after them, and he had heard both sides. I told him what happened. Nothing happened. I said I was watering my grass and went about my day. And the other police were saying, no, she was on her porch screaming at him and yada, yada, yada. And the third police, he went back, and there are honest police. He documented that the guy changed his story from me being on my porch screaming at him to, oh, she was watering her grass and began calling him names. Well, which one was it? And it's all right there. But the DA, nobody looked at the evidence to dissect it and say, hey, this guy's story isn't matching. So once I start dissecting this, and I also took the body cam and I had it transcribed. I could dissect everything that they did. And the biggest mistake that they made was they kept asking him about, oh, she called you a gang stalker? What's a gang stalker? And they going on and on about gang stalking to try to build this false mental health narrative against me. And I realized, wait a minute. They're arresting me on a temporary restraining order violation, but they didn't ask him about the temporary restraining order. Not one time. So how do you know why you're even at this man's house? So they were so caught up in the street theater that they forgot to mention why they were even there.
Wow.
Okay, so I mean, when it comes to this type of crime, there's a lot of evidence. We just need to pick through it. We have to dissect everything. Dee Dee, she'll tell you, she's like, Lajuana will dissect a drop of water. If it's to do with my targeting, yes, I will dissect a drop of water.
Yeah, and you know what? And a lot of TIs won't because, or maybe don't think to, and maybe we need to just remind ourselves to do that because we think they're perfect. We think that they have it all together, but they will make mistakes. They have made mistakes, and we can catch them. Our cameras are important. Our recordings are important. Our documentation is essential. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the other thing was once I started getting the Freedom of Information Act request, I'm looking closer at it. I'm like, okay, this guy is calling from an 800 number. He's calling 911, making these false police reports from an 800 number. What is this 800 number? And I typed it in, and it said Public Safety Answering Point. Well, what is a Public Safety Answering Point number? Oh, it's for first responders, law enforcement, and criminal informants. So if they call 911, they get bumped to the front of the line because they take those calls right away. So why is this guy calling from an informant phone?
Wow, unbelievable.
So it's those type of little bitty things that we have to pay attention to that can expose this crime. But we just have to be patient. We have to do the research and dissect everything. Because, listen, they've been doing this program for so long, they've gotten sloppy. They didn't think that we would dissect it. And, you know, Ray he has told me from the very beginning, Lajuana, this is not just about you. So it's important in how you conduct yourself, what you have to say, you know, everything that you do, because it's we really do reflect each other. When we scream at gang stalkers or they're gang stalkers or this or that, they put us all in one boat. You know what I'm saying? And they like to point the finger at us and say, see how they act? They're crazy. No, we're not crazy. We get emotional. We have feelings. This is the hardest part for me for this program. Let me back up real quick. The hardest part for me for this program was not knowing. Why are these people following me? Why are these people stalking me? How does this woman know? How is this woman online posting about everything that I do in my house? I don't even know this person. Why are these people doing this? And so the hardest part was not knowing. But once you know what you know, and you figured out, oh, I'm illegally implanted, this is how this program works, this is the technology. Oh, my previous employer invented this. This is why they were gang stalking me. This is why, you know, it just, when it starts making sense, then you start to get your freedom, you know. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no. So how did you get your number? So during this, because of these restraining orders, it led to your number?
Okay, how I got my number. Ray said, contact the public defender's office, get your file from there, because you can get your file from there once the case is over. So I got my file, and the thing is, when I was at the public defender's office when I first went there, the girl asked me, she said, have you ever been to juvenile hall? And I know as a child, as a preteen, my mom took me there, kept me there, they kept me there overnight, and then I went home, and I'm like, why does that matter? I'm 58 years old. Why does this matter? Right? And so, but anyway, so I just let that go. So anyway, after the case was over, I got the public defender file, and I had just got it, and I just set it to the side, didn't kind of look through it, but it really didn't dissect anything. And one day something said, I said, I'm going to find my Watchlist. I know I'm going to find it. I just felt it. And so I started going through the paperwork, and on the Oakland Police Crime Report, at the very bottom, it says subject number. And it says 9596690-00. I'm like, oh, my God. And then above that, it had another code. I think it says 1013J or something like that. And then I looked up that for the agency, and it went back to the Department of Treasury. And then I tied in my subject, my watch list number, to the Department of Treasury and found where they're targeting and tracking watch-listed people.
Woo! Girl. Just stumbled on that. Let me tell you, the good thing about it, the excellent thing about it is you got it. The unfortunate part about it for us is that it's not duplicatable. It was an accident. They wanted to redact that form. However, they did not edit it, and so you were able to get it. Good for you.
Right. I was able to get it. And to this day, Oakland police will not release that Oakland police crime report because they know. And I asked them, hey, I need that crime report. And they act like they don't know what I'm talking about. So I'll give them the first and the third page. This is the crime report I need. I just need the second page. They won't give it to me because the second page has the watch list number.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But you have it. Mm-hmm.
But I do have it. But real quick. Mm-hmm. After they finish the street theater, and I think this body cam footage is so important because it proves organized gang stalking. But when the police were leaving his house, coming over to my house to arrest me based on this fabricated lie they made up, the guy next door, he got out a script, and he said, he told the police, you know Romero, John Romero? The police said, yeah. He says, that's my cousin. I'm like, wait a minute. And of course, I got on the keyboard. And I'm looking for John Romero. And I find one, and he's at the police department, and they said he was born in San Leandro, and I'm looking up San Leandro birth records, and I don't find him being born in San Leandro. And I said, well, wait a minute. Let me put in the guy next door's last name with John, and then his last name next door, right? So I typed it in, and bing, ding, 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 ding. I found him with that same last name as the guy next door, and his mother's maiden name is Romero, and connected them. Their first cousin.
Wow.
And who is Romero? His cousin is over the cannabis unit.
And that's how you found that out.
Exactly. And real quick, turns out that Romero wrote the false police report on August 15th accusing me of a crime of a neighborhood disturbance that never happened. Then he allowed his cousin to make all these false 911 calls on the PASP phone. Okay? Then they took those incident cards that the police issued to him and they attached them to the false temporary restraining order. Okay? Then the guy next door filed a restraining order with the court. And then Romero, turns out, once Ray got the unredacted body cam, I'm looking at this, and one police hands the other one the RP card. I'm like, well, what is the RP card? It's the reporting party, the person who reported the violation. Turns out Romero wrote the false police report, the false temporary restraining order, and the reporting party card ordering my arrest. Then turns out that Romero even wrote the annotations on my FOIA request, where I'm requesting the evidence, the handwriting belongs to him too. So this police officer who I've never met, never spoken to, never seen in my life, had me kidnapped on a lie. And so the only way that I figured it out was I was diligent, and these are things that the things that are happening to us are not things that an attorney will sit down and dissect, because nobody is invested in your case like you. Nobody knows what's happening like you do. And the best thing that Ray could have done was create a legal co-op, meaning I have to do my part. And once my part is done, then I can pass the baton and say, here, this is what we have. What do you have? Can you do anything with this? Also, another thing that I do is I use a lot of artificial intelligence, a lot of AI. So I conduct mock trials. Okay, here's my evidence. I need you to be a narcissistic defense. Let's play this thing out, And so I'm running it back until there is no defense, until I have them in their corner. I have them cornered, and they have nowhere to go and nowhere to hide. Party's over. See, so with my watch list number, what am I doing? I didn't just take it, hey, I have my watch list number. Yeah, you guys have to leave me alone. No. I need to show everything you did, because this is not just about me. This is about all these souls out here on this line right now listening, hoping, praying, trying to find a way out. We all have to help each other, and I'm trying to do my part, like, to show that this is what these people are doing to us. They are kidnapping us. They are making up lies against us. They're using the judicial system to manufacture cases against us for things that have never happened. This is horrific what we're going through.
It is. It is. It is. But you're standing, and I love, Lajuana, I love the fact that you know, and you're so intimately involved with the fact that you're representing all of us, that you, TI, are going through this, and what you do impacts us all. And I just love that.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Because they make it seem like this gang stalking is so hard to expose. Yeah, they had a good run at it, but you know what? They slipped up when they released the body cam. Because here's the thing: when the temporary restraining order case was going. And I did post about this man gang stalking me. I posted it on my Facebook page. I just went berserk. I went crazy just posting about gang stalking. And this guy next door, because I had blocked him. So I wanted to see if they were on my Facebook page. And so the judge asked me, why are you posting about this gang stalking? I said, because I wanted to see if they were stalking me through social media. And they were. And the judge got it. She understood. But where they messed up, they manufactured probable cause and forgot to ask, okay, do you have a temporary restraining order? Can I see the restraining order? They never mentioned restraining order. I even broke down their verbiage, a verbiage chart. Okay, this is how many times they said gang stalking. This is how many times they said restraining order. Never. This is how many. You know what I'm saying? This is how many times they mentioned the court. Never. So why are you even at this man's house and coming over to my house saying he has a good restraining order when you never asked him about his restraining order?
Beautiful.
So it's
beautiful.
It's those kind of things that we just have to. We have to just really dig in. We have to say. Because we're trying to save our lives, and we can. And so I'm really, I'm excited because I have a lot of good things coming that's getting ready to help me get out of this program and help the TI community. So that way when we go into court, we can say, oh yeah, gang stalking does exist. Here it is right here. Here's the video footage right here. Also, I have filed over 375 Freedom of Information Acts. With the
you're the FOIA queen. We have a FCC queen. You're the FOIA queen, for real.
And I tell you, what it has done is, these people have slipped up, and by the time they realized that they gave me too much evidence, it was too late. They accidentally gave me the document the following year, where I had made another complaint about his cannabis, where they finally came out, did an inspection, and then when I asked for the letter, what happened? They accidentally released the letter showing, we sent him a cease and desist letter to stop growing illegal cannabis, and then it showed that they CC'd his cousin. They copied his cousin. So you don't see the conflict of interest there?
Mm-hmm. Why would you CC his cousin? Wow.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So God is so good, and it's been just these little mustard seeds from him whispering, so do you know Romero, John Romero? And then 10 minutes later, on the body cam footage, the female officer is handling the male officer. He says, you have the RP card. The RP card was written by Romero. So, it has just all come together. So it's just important to just dissect every piece of your case and make it make sense. If it makes sense, because really, back to why don't they believe us? I don't care if they don't believe me, because I'm going to present my case. It's going to be so strong. I'm just going to here it is on the table. Do what you got to do. Now let's handle it. Let's handle this, because I'm not tolerating with this anymore. That is their biggest fear, transparency.
Mm-hmm. So now I want to ask you one more question, and then I want to open up to the community. But from my understanding, you received a permanent restraining order. Is that because of the video that?
No, it wasn't against him. Actually, with the guy next door, he passed. But before he passed, after they issued the 2-year civil restraining order, and when he continued to violate it, then they issued a criminal restraining order against him. So, but prior to that, back in 2003, when the gang stalking first started, and I didn't know it was gang stalking, this guy who I had dated briefly, a couple of months, started stalking me. And then he had these people helping him, and then he knew every place that I was, and it didn't make any sense. But what I did was I started documenting, even back in 2003, setting up motion detectors, setting up cameras with remote, viewing. I mean, the technology back in 2003 wasn't like it is today. But I collected so much evidence against this man and exposing the gang stalking. But like I said, I didn't call it gang stalking back then. And it was so overwhelming that the judge ordered a lifetime permanent restraining order. I now know that it was gang stalking, but I was diligent. Even back then, I hired a handwriting analysis expert because of the magazine cards he was taking out, the magazines he was taking out in my name, and one of the cards happened to come back. I was just, from the very beginning, I started dissecting, but I didn't know how big this thing was. I had no idea I would end up where I am today, but it just shows the importance of documenting and being diligent, not reacting, remaining calm, no matter how. If you want to scream and holler and cry, wait till you're alone behind closed doors, because we can't, unfortunately, we can't expose how we feel, because they're going to dissect it and say they're crazy. Also, real quick, once I got the incident report, the entire day while I was out shopping, the police documented she's 5150, she's 5150, she's 50, meaning she's mentally ill, But wait a minute, I have no history with you guys. They were documenting that I was mentally ill because they were hoping that I would react. Because who wouldn't react to being kidnapped, falsely arrested, right? And the one officer documented, that third officer, he documented that my demeanor was polite and calm. So how are you guys documenting that I'm 5150? And then on top of that, when I got the radio traffic, they were documenting all day long that I'm 5150, Lajuana Reid, and they're calling out my address, mentally ill, 5150, and my dash cam shows I'm at the store shopping, I'm at Home Depot, I'm at the bank, at the same time that they're broadcasting my name, slandering me for a crime that never happened.
Wow.
So it's those kind of things, keeping your receipts, keeping your Google history, keeping your bank receipts, all of that. And then when you start matching this up, wait a minute, this doesn't match up. This doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. So now they have a lot of explaining to do. Excuse me, officer, you said this was a 415 neighborhood disturbance, but you never went out, you never made contact with her. Matter of fact, you don't even know this woman. You said see attached, but you attached nothing because nothing happened. You said the time that it happened was 00, 100 hours or 23:59 hours. So it happened all day long? Well, her record shows she was doing this, and this. Had nothing to do with you guys. What are you talking about? So it's those kind of things where we have to advocate for ourselves. We have to pick the evidence apart. And even when it comes to doctors, we know how that goes, So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm so glad you were able to get your watch list number. And we have a few people in queue already, so I'm going to jump over to them for a minute, and then and we'll continue talking. So we're going to take the first caller in queue. First caller, please.
Hi, B. You're up first.
Thanks. Thank you for what you're doing. I just have a couple questions. One is, were you able to use evidence of your watch list number in the court? And also, did I hear that you just traced it to the Department of Commerce or something, or Treasury?
Right.
Or was there somebody else? And then the last question is, are you pursuing, if you just got the case dismissed, that's great, but I mean, are you able to use all that, or are we able to use all that to not prosecute them, but bring a case against them against this program? Do you know about the Barry v. Cherney case in Oakland against the Oakland police there? Which, if you don't know about it, you should look it up. Was that a lot?
Okay, you got about, it's a lot at one time. I'm not sure if I want her to remember your questions. It's okay.
Okay.
Lajuana,
that last part was really important.
Okay.
I can maybe contact her separately. I don't know, but sorry.
Well,
what case
go
is
ahead.
that
We'll break down.
Barry versus Cherney in the late 90s. They won a civil case against Oakland Police Department and the FBI for violating their civil rights, for not investigating or misinvestigating. It was a very similar TI type of situation. They planted actually a bomb. The FBI actually planted a bomb in their car because they were tree huggers defending the forest there in Northern California.
Wow.
But
no, I didn't know about that.
Oh, yes, you definitely have to look that up. And I think I know somebody who can get me your information, and I can send you the links to what I have about it.
Okay.
BARI. It's BARI, the Oakland Police Department, or FBI, yeah. Sorry.
I just found it. Thank you for that.
Sure.
And what was your question?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just go to the last part first. Are we able to use your case that was dismissed to prove the targeting program and bring suit against these people? Something to that effect.
Okay. First thing, the case that was dismissed without prejudice, our complaint is being amended and resubmitted. And that's something totally separate. As far as the Oakland Police Department, that case is going in. That's not done yet. Once that is done, once that is filed, yes, you will be able to use that. That evidence is overwhelming, and I'm telling you, it is going to blow you guys away. I mean, there's no doubt that they're the ones running the gang stalking program. In addition to, real quick, my FOIA request, I found documents on their FOIA website. On this one FOIA request, there are 368 documents, and in those documents, they have mental health cheat sheet cards where they say, okay, if the targeted person says they're being followed, if they say they're implanted, everything that we're subjected to, immediately send them to mental health. Do not take any reports, send them straight to mental health. So these 368 documents are the same documents that they're using all across the country to label us mentally ill. They will never take our police reports. And I have the evidence that proves it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Eva, for your question. All right. Next caller, please.
Hello. How you doing this evening? My name is Sharice Morgan. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
My name is Sharice Morgan, and I was on last week, and I've been targeted now for about 7 years. And like you say, they follow you from place to place. Okay, so I've been on dialysis for 22 years. Okay, so I have to have different doctors for different things. So it's like they even got my doctors treating me poorly or giving me less attention, or they have people that, like, I go and sit down in the chair for 3.5 hours, get my blood cleaned. And they even got texts doing things, repeating things that I might have said on the phone, or just having them targeting me different things, like whispering and things so I could hear. I went off the other day because sometimes I get fed up and I'm just tired of going through this because I feel like should nobody in the capital of USA all around the country, period, go through this. This is like some mind-blowing stuff to even think that people even have the audacity or the just the why. I mean, it's like how do we get out of this? Why should we have to live years on this, doing this?
Okay. So, Sharice, I just want to say first, you're absolutely right. Your feelings are absolutely legitimate. You're going through your dialysis, and there we call it gang stalking, street theater, talking around you, and it's just so sad that they're doing it, and probably with a cause of you being there. So the why is because we're in an experiment, and like Lajuana's here, I'm here. There are many organizations, targeted justice PACs. There's ICATOR. There's so many organizations that are trying. Even Tulsi Gabbard, RFK. There's people that are really trying to take this down at the root, destroy it, and expose it. In the meantime, I think one thing that Lajuana was saying, documentation, document everything. That while you're sitting there and they're talking, like instead of feeling about how outraged or how horrible it is that they're doing it, and it is horrible, but write it down. This becomes your evidence. Take your book with you when you go. Write everything they're saying down and record it. And even take a body cam in there, Take pictures and video of them, because all that will work in your favor for your day in court. All they're doing is giving you more evidence.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? There's something powerful about getting pen and paper, putting it on paper, and then they have to feel it. And, one of the things that the judge said during the court hearing, she said, Ms. Reed, I know it may be hard not to respond, so I need you to get the pen and paper and just write. Anything that he says, just make a note. And I did that, and it felt so powerful, and it took the power out of what he was doing, and it gave me the power to when it was my time, I was able to articulate and go back on what he said and prove that he was lying. And even in this medical environment, each time you go and you making notes, and you're like, okay, they did this, and each time that you go, and then when you look back at the pattern, you're like, oh my God, it's clear. It's clear. This cannot be disputed. Right. Even though it's what do they say, not the type of evidence where it's not like solid evidence.
Plausible deniability, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Right, but you're showing a collection. There's no way there's no way that this cannot be true, because what is the probability of this happening?
Right.
Consistently, the pattern is there. The pattern is there. They showed a clear pattern, and you've documented the pattern. People don't document lies.
Right. And if you find the same person, if the same people, like what does she have on today, identifying marks on her body, this tattoo, so-and-so, get specific. So this way, when you go there, you're going there with your assignment. They have an assignment, and so do you. Your assignment is to document what they do. Okay. So when you go there with that empowers you. So, yes, you are the victim, so to speak, but you have power too. So we have to use what's in our hand. Use what's in your hand. Okay? But thank you for being on the call, and I'm so sorry you're going through this. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask one question, though? Another question? How do you get your number? Like, where do you call to see if you're on a certain watch list? How do you...
All right. So definitely a new TI, Lajuana. So Lajuana got her number because they made a mistake. She was not supposed to get it. They will do everything to make sure we don't get those numbers, okay? So it's not, unfortunately, it's not something that you just get like that. There's a whole lawsuit about trying to get the TSDB. If we could get the names of the people on the TSDB who put us on, when we were put on, they know it would be over, So
I'm sorry. And you know, I even know exactly who did it, because before it started, he was mad because he couldn't brainwash me. I had a daughter at that time; she was about 5 or 6, and this is how it started. Because I was like, doing dialysis period for a woman is hard, because every man that you meet think that you're a liability, or you need them or anything. I never needed the guy for nothing. I took him me and my responsibility. But when he felt that he couldn't brainwash me like all his other girls, he just started being nasty. And he said to me while he's in my house, he said, "You know what? You don't want to mess with me." And I said, "Well, what you mean by that?" He said, "Because I'm in an organization that will haunt you and do things to you all your life." And I thought I didn't pay it no attention, because who would think something like that is real out here? Who really would? And ever since then, because I had a daughter, she was, like I said, 5 or 6, and I asked him to take me to the store. So he pulled up to Rite Aid, and I said, "Well, my medicine's ready. I'm going to leave my baby girl in the back. I'm going to run in there, get my medicine, come right back out." And I did, because it was already ready. And I came back out. Usually he pulled in the front and give me. So I'm looking around, and I see him across the parkway. So I started walking, and he still didn't see me. He had his seat back, and I walked up, and my daughter was just rubbing his hand. And I said, "Wait, hold, pump your brakes. Why is she touching your hand?" He gonna ask me, "What's wrong with that?" I said, "First of all, you're not her father, and even if you was her father, I would still have the same answer, question. Why?" And I said, "Take me and my daughter home." And that little bit of time, it may be hard for me to get everything out that my daughter. So whatever he did for that split second, it's like a monster. And after that, I didn't want to deal with him, because I felt like, no, no. God showed me.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. They use those little situations to make you focus on him, so you won't focus on the big program. Exactly. It's a lot bigger than.
Exactly. It's not personal. It's not about him, because guess what? If the program didn't exist, he'd have nowhere to put your name. So we're not focusing on him. He's a vessel. He's a part of it. But the big program is what the government is doing, allowing, and it's the whole experiment. So be glad that you, number one, stood up, because some women would have allowed that to happen because they wanted a ride, or because whatever, any little benefit. And that's what the test was. But you passed the test. So you were already, he may not have been the one to put you in the program. You may have already been in there. Get the book. No, but you may have already been in there. So the thing about it is, Sharice, it is a horrible situation that we're in. We're doing everything that we can to get out of it. And I believe that I won't even put a date, but it's going to happen. Things are going to turn around in our favor. Hold on. Do what you have. Use what's in your hand and keep moving. You've mentioned this story before. If that means it's still bothering you, I hope you find peace with it and release it and keep moving. So continue coming to the J.A.M. Thank you so much for being here. All right?
What's the book? What's the book called?
Oh, GoGi's After Dinner J.A.M. I'm sorry, no, it's not. It's called GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You Are a Targeted Individual. And the reason I'm recommending it is because when you read the 10 signs, you'll begin to see these signs in your life. And sometimes you may think, when you think about him, you may look at the signs and say, whoa, but this happened to me 5 years before I met him. So you may start realizing that this program was already existent in your life. So, take your time. It's an easy read. I hope that you get it, and all the best. All right. Okay. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. All right. Okay. Next caller, please. All right. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Well, this is my first time on the call. I just want to thank you for what you're doing.
Welcome to the J.A.M. Thank you for being here.
Well, I'm actually one of the founding members of Targeted Justice.
Okay,
and,
what's your name? I don't know you. What's your name?
Dolly.
Hi, Dolly. I've heard your name. Thank you for joining the J.A.M.
Well, I have been busy. I've stayed active in the watching a lot of political things in my state, and just trying to make changes.
Okay. Do you have a question, my dear?
No, I just wanted to thank you for what you're doing, and I do want to kind of get involved back again with Targeted Justice. I'm, my emails are interfered with. Some of my calls are interfered with. I said, well, I must be over the radar. But
all right. I will reach out to the leaders and mention to you that Dolly wants to get involved. And if you send me an email, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, I can certainly forward it.
Can you say that, your email address again?
I'm sorry. The Justice Action Meeting.
Did you say
the
Action
J.A.M.
Meeting?
Yes, the Justice Action Meeting. THE Justice Action Meeting at proton.me.
Well, I have texted with Richard just here recently, and he sent me, I would have to look it up, somebody's email address, and I did send it, but I never heard anything back, but I do know my emails are not going through. I do stay in contact with legislators in my state, and they're telling me they're not.
What state are you in, Dolly?
Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah. A lot going on in Kentucky.
Yeah, I've been working on cell towers, weather modification bills, and some of the legislators.
Okay. Cell towers, people are winning claims against cell towers, 5G and so forth all over the world. That's a good one to go against. So,
well, I haven't seen much winning here in the States on that. I have brought it up. But it's a tough issue.
You would be able to cite the cases that win. Like there are people that stood against cell towers being too close to a school, or 5G. One whole city would not allow any 5G towers. So those wins you'll be able to cite, and the reasons that they won, you can stand on those. So and maybe you need some other people in Kentucky that you can bond together with, because you don't want to go to these meetings alone. So
well, I actually had a couple legislators propose bills, and I do not take the credit, because a lot of information that was given to me about cell towers and other bills, so it wasn't all my work. There were many people were involved, but there were some bills proposed in Kentucky, and just on this weather modification. Yes.
Oh my God!
People are waking up to that. I know it. So awful.
I hope that they know that they engineer, this geoengineering of these hurricanes.
They are really starting to be aware of that now. Yeah.
Well, I hope so. I think most people, I don't think people realize it enough. I wish more people were aware of that. It's very, very important. But I'm
seeing a lot more posts, especially with these last two hurricanes.
Good.
And I saw a post from, I'll just put it this way, a politician's relative posted that they were so upset to learn that they were modifying our weather. And I was like, people are waking up. So
I wonder which politician that is, because those people are the ones to contact first, because maybe they'll step up and do something about it.
Well, I'm also trying to get, the politicians on the D.C. side are tough. It is frustrating. I have met and actually spoke to one from D.C. I'd rather not say his name because I don't want to be targeted any more than I am.
Well,
and yeah.
I don't know
but I
what
don't
to say
quit,
about that.
And he knows I won't. He knows I won't. This is too important for all of us. But the lady that I first came onto the call with, I think her name was Lajuana. Is that her name? She has done a lot of FOIA requests.
Yes, Lajuana is still on the line. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can get some information with her and help each other, because my thing is legislation. I worked in government for 20 years, so I know that is the route we have to take.
Absolutely.
Is the bills and laws and lawsuits. We have to have proof.
Yes. You can send me an email, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, and let me know who you'd like to connect with, and we'll work on that, okay? But your activism is important. One person is important, and the more we bond together, the more strength, because there's strength in numbers. So Thank you for what you're doing. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, thank you, too. Now, you said the Justice Action Meeting.me?
At proton.me. At proton.me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No problem.
Mm-hmm. Missed that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
And you said it's Lajuana? Can you spell her name?
L-A, capital L-A, capital J-U-A-N-A.
Okay. Well, thank you again. I'm going to get off here. I'm on the Eastern time zone. I don't know where you all are exactly. But once again, I do appreciate it. I hope I can get on this call again sometime. I can't guarantee I'll be on here every week.
Join any time you can. Thank you for joining the J.A.M, Dolly.
One thing I was going to mention tonight, and I missed it. There was supposed to have been some type of meeting, supposed to have been online with President Trump and Robert F. K. Jr. about making America healthy again. I just remembered it, and I'm just wondering if maybe that didn't happen because of the hurricane. I do not know.
Where's
do y'all
the hurricane?
Know anything about that?
I don't know about the hurricane, and no, I don't know about the meeting. I'm sorry. I don't know. Do you know, Lajuana?
No, I don't know.
Okay, we're the only ones who are not muted. So sometimes if someone can share the information, they'll come on the call after.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you both. I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good night.
All right. You too now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Dolly.
Bye.
Hello, Dolly.
Oh, I heard that.
All right. Next.
I'm trying to hang up.
I love that name. I had a secretary named Dolly at one of my schools before. I love that name. All right. But thanks for being here. Next caller, please.
It's Lauren. Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
you have a question?
How are you?
Yeah. I'm fair, partly cloudy. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, you sound like you are. I've been trying to reach you.
Yeah. I've been like, oh my God, I've been doing a lot of stuff, so I know I was gonna get back to you. I'm gonna get back to you. I just hadn't had a chance.
All right, your question, ma'am.
I have an attorney that I sent your case to. She is in the top 100 league, and she has read part of it at that time when I talked to her. And she said for me to tell you that you are pretty much a bad A. You know what I mean by that. She is so proud of you and how you have took a hold of this case, and for her to say that, for her to give anybody any kind of marks, and she's on the level that she is, she spoke very highly of you. And she said that she would like to reach out if you're willing. I was on the call last week because I thought you were going to be here, and I wanted to let everybody know what she said, that once everybody got their evidence together, she wanted to compile, get people's names and everything in their cases based on whether they have seen, like, excuse me, John or either Kidder, and send the information over to her, and she would look at it. I mean, of course, you already got your stuff together, but I'm just saying for everybody else. But I just want to let you know that she is speaking very highly of you. So if you want to reach out to her, by all means, give me a call. Mm-hmm.
Okay, will do. I'll reach out to you anyway. But it's not just me. It's 8 of us in this group, so I can't just do anything independently. It has to be a group decision.
Oh, no. She was just saying about how you put your case together. And
okay.
At the time, she had not read the whole file, the other plaintiffs, but she certainly did read yours, of course, because you were at the top. But she's very, very impressed.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I think that's important. Another thing, and I may have said this already, that when we present our evidence is that we take an evidence-based approach. We connect the dots. So that way we don't leave anything to guess. So, I mean, with our lawsuit that's currently in D.C., we took an evidence-based approach. And fortunately, when the way that the judge dismissed it by insulting us and just like if he could have spit in our face, he would have. But what is it in it for him? Why is he so angry? And we're glad that he did what he did because he exposed himself early on. What could be worse than being in the courtroom with looking at a former FISA court judge who hates our guts because he is one of those people who have been putting people on the watch list, and now he has to look in the face of the individuals of some of the people that he probably said, okay, yeah, Adam, but this is why you're adding us to the watch list so you guys can conduct non-consensual human experimentation. So he did us a favor, but it's not going. What he did it's not going to hold up. I mean, he's going to have to just get on out the way next, because we're not going away. You can dismiss us without prejudice. You can dismiss us with prejudice. We don't care. The bottom line is this is what it is. It's not a lie. It's the truth. We took an evidence-based approach, and we're gonna get justice one way or another.
Woohoo! Somebody called me and asked me if I knew the reason why it got removed out of the court that you all originally were in. And it said something about, I was thinking maybe it was because of the place it was held. And I see that you all went to D.C. So was it about the venue at all?
No. He's saying it's not plausible. That can't be happening. There's no way the government is doing this. You ridiculous people saying your brains are implanted. Well, no, we're not just saying our brains are implanted. All 8 of us had the nonlinear junction detector scan. All 8 of us, the scan proves that we have implants in our brains. It showed the locations. Then we have all 8 of us had CT scans, and the CT scans we connected the CT scans with the implants in our brains to the nonlinear junction detector report. You can't.
Yeah, and that's exactly what she said. That's exactly what she said. She said there is no plausible deniability. That's what she said.
The case is sound. It's a sound case. I also had a male review it. He said all of the evidence is fantastic, and it's laid out so nicely. I mean, anyone can follow suit. 278 pages of evidence, one after the other. It's absolutely beautiful. And TIs, once you get everything that you need, we follow suit. Period. So, I mean, you guys have done the legwork, years of documentation and research, cases that were cited. It's beautiful. We can pick it up. It's a template that we can just pick up and keep moving. All we have to do is get the proper scans and evaluations and diagnosis and pull our stuff together, and do the same thing. So continue on. We're following in your footsteps. Thank you. And Lauren, I have more in queue.
Okay, let me just ask you one more question. Lajuana, do you still have my number?
You know what? Hit me up, and I do, but I have to look for it. So put it in Messenger real quick, and I'll jot it down, okay?
Okay, my messenger is turned off. I can only get messages from people. I can't give them. Your number disappeared out of my phone. Don't ask me how.
Let me send you mine. I'm gonna send it to you right now in Messenger. Okay? Mine.
Well, it's not gonna go through. If you send me,
you can't receive any messages, Lauren.
I can receive them, but I can't send any. You're gonna send it through Messenger or text message?
I just sent it to you. I just sent it to you.
Your Messenger, Facebook. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Messenger, Facebook.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
We'll talk.
All right.
Okay.
Next caller, please. All right. Next caller, please.
Hello, Rita. You're up next.
Hi, Rita.
Hi.
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 You have a question, honey? Rita, are you okay?
I think I'm going to pass today.
You're going to pass today? Okay. Thank you for being on the call. All right. Next caller, please. All right. So we have quite a few questions, so I'm going to move it a little faster. Let's get the question out and keep moving because it is late, and we know what happens when people go to stay up late and go to work late with one eye closed. So let's go. We want to keep these TIs at work. Go ahead, Regina. I hear your voice.
Well, no, it's Sandy from San Antonio. Hi. Hey,
God. How are you, Sandy? Okay.
Oh, my God. I have meeting till late, but I'm like, I have to get on here and give this girl, Lajuana, honey, we are so proud of you, girlfriend. We are jumping for joy. We started a prayer for you last week when we got the case 2 weeks ago. We started praying for you ladies. We've been praying nonstop because we know they're coming. They've already started. They're coming for you. We know that. So we are praying for you, girlfriend, and we're going to follow suit. I'm getting my scans coming up I don't even want to say the time, but soon. And we are following suit. We're warriors, girlfriend, just like you. So I wanted to say thank you. And also last week I hosted a show as well, and I used to sing with the GoGi's J.A.M team as well. However, I had a judge on my show last week, and I asked her off the record because, I said, hey, those 8 ladies, the people that are watching right now, they're going through the same thing. Would you represent us? And she said she couldn't talk about it. Remember, she said that she couldn't talk about any open cases because I didn't know what to discuss. But once we were off the record and closed, I said, if a group of us came together with the same type of case that she was aware of, would you represent us in your felony court? She was an African-American black judge, Stephanie Boyd, first black judge. She's been there 20-plus years, and she said, absolutely. So I just wanted you to say that. And she's very proud of the sisters working together. Our family, we TIs, I don't even want to do the color thing, but I'm so impressed, so proud. And I said, I'm going to wait up all night until I say this. So again, girlfriend, I'm proud of you guys, and we got your back, okay? Got your back. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gaji.
All right, thank you, Sandy. Thank you for being here. All right. We got to fight. We got to reach out. I'll reach out to you about that person. All right. Next caller, please. Thank you, Sandy. Sandy from San Antonio.
Hi, Gaji.
Hi, how are you? Oh, Sandrina.
This is Sandrina. Hello.
Okay.
Hi, Lajuana.
Hi.
Hello there. I want to give you a big, big congrats. And I got a quick question, and I do apologize because I think it's going to be something you already covered, but I missed it, and I do apologize. Can you just give me the bullet on how you obtained a restraining order against your purse?
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Can you give me just the bullets on how you obtained that restraining order?
Oh, okay. First, I documented it. I made sure I had solid evidence. Once I got the solid evidence, I went and filed a temporary restraining order. Once the judge granted it, then I had the sheriff serve him, and then just take it to court. But main thing is you got to have solid evidence. You have to have prima facie evidence where it is undisputable. This person did it, and the main thing is that the judge will say, well, I don't see this isn't a one-hand clapping restraining order. You want a one-hand clapping restraining order. That means that only one person is doing something. This person is doing something. I'm not responding to this person. I'm not saying anything to this person. I'm not doing anything. You just show what they're doing to you. But you don't want to do anything to say, well, you did this or you did. No. You don't want anybody pointing the finger back at you. So you want to go in there saying, this is a one-hand clapping restraining order. This person is doing this to me, and I need them to leave me alone.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, LaJuana. Let me say this. What she did, Sandrina, was when the guy was doing things like building something so she couldn't see out her window, she watched him. She said nothing. She did nothing and just documented and used all that documentation. So, I know that you're away from there right now, but just the documentation that you have, hopefully you kept really good documentation.
I did.
Good. So then that's what helps. She has a permanent restraining order. She got one, a lifetime restraining order. But this is going to be on YouTube, and she told all about the ones that. Now remember, she also was restrained, had one against her, and she calls it administrative kidnapping. So I want you guys to talk because Sandrina's going through something very similar. She's in the middle of it, and I think it would be very helpful to her, LaJuana. So we'll talk about that later, okay?
Wonderful.
We'll try to arrange that, okay?
Sounds great. Right. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, LaJuana. Good luck with your case.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Next caller, please.
Hi there. It's Barbara, San Diego.
Hi, Barbara, San Diego. How you doing?
Hi there. Okay. I just, as well as can be expected. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I do.
Anyway, a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that I knew somebody that had an outdoor advertising agency that had billboards, and I just wanted you to know that I did follow through on that, and I wrote correspondence. I didn't know it at the time, sent it to an outdated address, and I just got my correspondence back yesterday late in the mail. So I have the correct address now, and I went to the post office today, and I sent out my letter to him again. So I don't have an answer yet, so fingers crossed something fruitful will come from it. So I just wanted to know I did follow through. And that's it.
I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much, and please keep us updated. Can't wait to hear good news from that. Thank you, Barbara.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Yes, praying about it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Next caller, please. Is there a next caller, or did we clear the line?
Hey, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. This is James here. I'm here in Dallas, suburb Irving, where the Cowboys used to play at. But I'm just gonna listen here. Yeah, I'm just. Oh, well, y'all laughing about that. I'm not a Cowboys fan like that, so I know y'all laughing at the Cowboys. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I was just gonna listen and try to learn here because my situation is I deal with the V2K and synthetic telepathy, but I'm just I just want to just listen and you know, and I got in late on the call, so I missed a pretty big chunk of this justice meeting. But however, you know, my first time on the line here, so I'm just going to listen and learn.
All right. Well, welcome to the J.A.M, James. Thank you. Listen and learn. Our guest tonight is Lajuana, and she shared a bunch of information, valuable information for TI. So glad you can make it in.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy. All right.
All right.
All right. Mm-hmm. Next caller, please.
Hi, Anna.
Hi. This is my first time here. I'm desperately trying to get some assistance on this. I'm from Australia, and I am all alone. I have no one. I have been trying to get hold of many people. I reported this issue. I was removed from my workplace. I was working for the government for about 18 years or so, and I found out that I'm very strictly moved, and all my emails are blocked. I have been trying to speak to members of parliament and trying to get in touch with somebody from the USFA. I've tried to contact Anna Toledo, but I still haven't received any response from anyone. I've given my address, I've given my telephone numbers, so I don't know how to get hold of a person face-to-face. I'm in desperate need for assistance.
Okay, so listen, there is Helen, who is from Australia, and she works with Targeted Justice, and she's absolutely available to you.
What happened is I've tried to reach out to a lot of people, and I found out that there's a very nasty game being played against me, and I'm one of the main targets also. I've got all the information here. When I spoke with Helene, she said she wasn't able to contact me or she wasn't able to speak to me face-to-face at all. And when she basically said that, you know, I can't go to lawyers and what have you, or even the police, but she said she wasn't able to provide any more assistance. So I desperately need to have a somebody to contact as far as you guys are concerned. I don't have any family members. I spoke with Elaine, and that's why I was kind of panicking.
All right, so this is what I'm going to suggest. Please send me an email to the Justice Action Meeting, THE Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, and I will forward your email and make sure someone gets back to you.
Yes, please. I've tried to contact Anna Toledo, and I wanted to speak to her face-to-face, so I hired a lawyer to ask to get me to be able to have access to her, but I don't even know if that's happening. I'm in a desperate situation. I've got a lot of information. Am I speaking to Luana or Luanda, is it?
Lajuana is on no, you're speaking to GoGi right now. Luana's on the call. She's our guest.
Oh, GoGi. Yes. Look, the information I have is very crucial to everyone. I found out that my brain matter has been taken, and I'm 51 years a targeted individual. I've got tons and tons of evidence. My information has gone. They've basically used me as a main brain to siphon information, and they've committed crimes with my brain that goes to America and many other places, but especially America. My brain matter is linked.
Wait a minute. What's your name?
My name is Anna, but
Anna.
I've got a
Anna. We're most of us are in similar situations. I don't want you to sit and recite all of the things that's going on with you. So what I'm going to do, you're going to send me an email. I'm going to take your email and forward to the appropriate people so that you can get the help that you need if there's any help. Okay? So
sorry to cut you off, but my emails are not going through. I don't know how to confirm that I have, sent the email. I've sent numerous over the years. I've been to church people. I've tried to send my emails across, and nothing is going through. As I said, I've got so much information, and I can help you guys to basically, even Anna Toledo. I found out that somebody's playing a nasty joke here, and what they're doing is they're giving my information to a lot of people. So my
wait. Anna, you're getting ready to just recite what's going on with you again. So the nasty joke is being played on each and every one of us, okay?
Yeah.
So I hope that your email will go through, because else I cannot help you. I mean, so you need to be able to email me or somebody, or then if not, it will have to come from someone face to face. But try to email, and let's believe that it's going to get through. I will respond if you send it to me. Okay?
No worries.
Thank you.
I'll do that.
Thank you so much. I'm going to move to the next caller, please.
All right.
But thank you. Tranquility. Next caller. Thank you.
Yes, Twinnie. This is the other Twinnie.
Hey, Twinnie. How you doing?
Great. Blessed. Amen. I just want to comment, and I want to just thank that dear lady who shared her testimony. Powerful, and it just is no question God was right there with her in the whole situation. But the thing that stuck out with me again, and I've been saying this for so long to the community, how important it is to get your evidence, document everything, do this, do that, do whatever you can each and every day to help in your targeting situation. You know, Gaji, you know the evidence I got, and it took me almost 6 years to get all what I got. But it didn't come from me sitting on my blessed assurance. You know, each day I had to get myself moving to do something about it. And, you know, God being the center of the ball, that's another thing. We have to put God in the equation. But, you know, I just want to just say that that lady was right on when she talked about how we need to have that type of evidence that is so credible, that will stand up without, you know, it being denied. So I just appreciate that lady sharing all that and just reaffirming how important it is, you know, to be doing something about your situation. And then again, I just want to add to everyone, of course, to make sure at the end of the day that God is in your equation, being the center of it all, because no matter what we do, without Him, the Bible clearly says we can do nothing. So God has got to be in it. So with that being said, Gaji, thank you for letting me share, and God bless everyone.
God bless you. Thank you, Sister Samia. Look for her calls on TI events, guys. Look into the problem solver. And that lady is Lajuana, our special guest for tonight. All right. Next caller, please.
Hey, Lajuana, this is Lauren. Your number came through, and just as quick as it came through, it went away. So can you give it to Gaji, please? And Gaji can give it to me. Yeah. And I'm going to send you a picture of this attorney. I'm not going to give you the name until I talk to you. But I want you to look her up once I give it to you.
Okay. Will do.
All right.
Okay.
Next caller, please.
Okay, I'm going to try now. I had like a strange situation today, and I guess I'm telling you guys to see what my
Okay, so we can't hear you. Number one, we can't. Your phone is cutting up. It's going in and out.
I'm sorry. That's terrible. You can't hear me at all right now?
We can hear you now, but if it goes in and out again, I'm going to go to the next person.
Okay, no problem. Just let me know if it goes in and out.
Sure will.
So my I don't know what happened, but as soon as I sent my email to schedule my scans, within 45 minutes, the ringleaders of my gang stalking ran to the courthouse and filed protective orders against me. And so today was my hearing. And I prayed a lot because this is all kinds of fucked up. Because, A, they're the ones attacking me, and then they have the balls to do something. And they're literally sitting there in court, and they're saying things like, I'm so scared. I can't go outside. Can the bailiff please walk me to my car? And I'm listening to all this nonsense, and I'm just looking up at the sky, and I'm talking to God, like, are you watching this? And the judge is looking at a stack of 50 papers, a Facebook post that I've made where I have come forward with my truth, and I've made sure that everybody knows, from the White House to Congress to the House of Representatives to DOJ, DHS, DOD, every three-letter acronym that has jurisdiction over the bullshit that's happening. And I'm looking at my gang. Like I'm quiet because I have representation, so I'm not supposed to speak. So I'm quiet and I'm just observing everybody's body language and their behavior. And the judge is looking at this group of no racial pun intended whatsoever, but this white mob lynch that's trying to attack this little girl sitting here in her suit and her curls, quietly just sitting there observing everybody. And he's looking at his 50 pages of Facebook posts of all the shit they have done to me.
Okay.
And
I know. Go ahead, Rita.
They look petrified. They look petrified. And I don't understand. They attacked me.
This is a game.
They attacked me, and they're scared out of their minds.
Well, it's called street theater. Yeah, it's. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a game that they play. And they love to get you in the courtroom on a temporary restraining order and just expand from there and run with it. But I think by being there, just remaining calm, in your suit, you know what I'm saying, and just and maintaining. I'm hoping that you're going to say that the judge was able to see through that.
He did. He was. So what happened is they're begging him. So they originally put in. I guess they're called expedited protective orders or something like that, emergency protective orders, and they were denied. And so they asked him again for the emergency protected orders, and he denied it. And then they asked him again, and he denied it. And then they asked him again, and then he denied it. And they looked like they were about to cry because they weren't getting their emergency protective orders. And I'm just sitting here looking at the sky because, like when you go through this, you and God are pretty much all you have. And God's like, march forward. This is the path. Keep going. And the judge is looking at me, and it's pretty obvious from his body language and his behavior that he knows I'm innocent. And he's looking at these people like they're a bunch of psychotic Looney Tunes. And so he keeps politely saying, no, I'm not giving you the emergency protective order over and over again. And I don't know, I guess I just wanted to share this absolutely psychotic experience that I had today. Sorry.
Well, you were victorious, so that's great. You won.
Well, I'll be victorious if I get the protective order, when we meet again. That's when, because we have to go back, and I have to, show my evidence, and then he'll make a decision from there. But I wouldn't say that I won. I just want you guys to know how crazy these people are and what they're capable of doing.
Right. Let me ask you this. So these are neighbors that are doing this?
Yeah, they're my neighbors.
Okay. So what I did, I was telling this to GoGi earlier today, is that what I did was I got an audio recorder and I set it outside where it could pick up my neighbors talking. And I got in my car and I left the audio recorder out there, and I captured them planning that they were planning on running me out of my home. So you might want to do little things like that to get more evidence. To, let them get comfortable.
I don't in the state of Virginia. I don't think you can record someone without their knowledge. I think it's an illegal offense here. I don't know what state you're from.
But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I'm in California, but if you're out in the public, if you're in public, this is in public. You're not in the privacy of a home. Listen, that's like a Ring camera or something picking up. Cameras pick up anything in public can be recorded.
Mhm. Okay, I see your point.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So you might, just get creative.
Try that, and document everything. Document. That's how Lajuana got her restraining orders, particularly if it's the same people. It's your neighbor. Just document everything. Mm-hmm.
And do you think it was street theater? I mean, I know that for one lady, it was street theater.
Come on.
Do you think that
if you're saying you're small, you have done nothing to intimidate them. You know that.
Well, I
so
have.
What else?
I have. Actually. I have. Well, I don't know if they know, but 3 of their sons went off to college, and the next day 3 of their sons came back home.
Okay, I don't understand.
I want to expand upon that, but I think they know that they might be in trouble, and so I just thought it was funny that as soon as I made my appointment for my scans, within 45 minutes they ran to the courthouse.
Mhm.
I don't know. So, I just thought maybe.
All right, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying here, but I think you're halfway through, and now you want to see that you're clear, and you want to make sure that you get a restraining order against them. Mm-hmm. So the answer, or what we're recommending, is documentation. And I have to move because it's getting late.
Yeah, the challenge I'm running into is I have tons of evidence, but my attorney is saying, how do we tie this evidence to them? How do we know they're the ones breaking in? How do we know they're the ones breaking your security cameras? How do we know? So I don't know how to link them to that stuff.
Right, and that's where you have to catch them on camera, and maybe they're that skilled that you may or may not, but if you do, then you can get the restraining order because it has to be black and white. That was what I think. What you call it, Lajuana, a one hand clap or something.
Yeah, one hand clapping. And so the other thing is having a recorder outside. You might catch a recording with them outside being comfortable talking about, we broke into her house, yada, yada, yada. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So you just let them do what they do, but you have to be ready to capture that evidence, to connect that, to make that connection.
Okay, Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next caller, please. Thank you, Lajuana. Thank you, caller. And I thank you for being patient and your time. This is one of our latest calls. We've been at this time before, but all right, let's go. Next caller, please.
Hold on, please. I'm trying to log in. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, GoGi. Good.
Hi.
This Manny, Los Angeles.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi, Manny.
I haven't been.
How are you?
Yeah, I haven't logged in lately. Busy with life. Yeah.
I understand.
So I just want to say hello to everyone, and also I heard Lajuana talks about getting evidence. Then at some point, with the gang stalking, I just tend to ignore them. How do you get evidence with gang stalking if you are heavily gang stalked, in church, in your day-to-day life? Is there some kind of a workshop where you can really learn this, how you can, put together this evidence, or it's just by documenting or writing it down only?
Oh yeah, it's recording, video, audio, writing it down. All of that helps. I mean, most of us have different gang stalkers. So we have different people all the time. But those people who have the same gang stalker, like a neighbor who's constantly doing the same thing. Yeah, and you get in this interaction thing with your neighbor, you can document all that stuff. But and I think Lajuana raised an excellent point. The thing is, you don't want to sit up there saying, well, he did this, and then she did that, and then I did this, and then he did. You want to say that you did nothing, and they did it all. So you have to really become like a reporter, and you just sit back and document and observe. Yeah. And you have to detach yourself emotionally and just write and document.
Okay.
And I think that, if you can do that, then you can present a case, and that's what Lajuana described that she was able to do.
Mm-hmm. I do want to. I also want to say that even though sometimes you might get the vehicular gang stalking, and they're never the same with the vehicular gang stalking. But if you have a dash cam and you can show a pattern, well, every day when I leave home, I have like 10 cars swerving at me, and this is a pattern. This is not a coincidence. You're showing a clear pattern, even though they're never the same people. The main thing is to show a pattern when you can't identify just that one person.
Yes, I had that in the beginning. I did a lot of recording. But for those of us, other people listening, I think the dash cam, they can easily hack those and delete everything you have. So I think it's better to look for some maybe non-digital camera.
Here's the other thing with the dash cam, and I had that happen to me, that a woman hacked my dash cam, and I knew she was. I'm like, wait a minute, she's on a computer. She pulled next to my car, and she had hacked my dash cam. So it's important if you have an SD card dash cam, that when you get out of your car, you pop up the SD card so the metal isn't connecting, so that way they can't hack the card while you're away from your car. So that's
they do that. They do that and wipe everything clean. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, GoGi. Yeah.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you, and thanks for being here. Thank you for
one.
joining the jam. All right.
Yes,
I think we're on.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Next caller, please.
Hi, Lajuana. Hello?
Hi, Tori.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, Tori.
Hey, GoGi. Both of y'all are Joan of Arcs of this community, and I just want to say about Lajuana. Lajuana has good character because I was fortunate enough to, be aware of her cases and hear some of it, actually. So when the man who was harassing her died, she cried for him. I just want y'all to know that
so sweet,
that
Lajuana.
she sure did. Me and her had a talk. She said, Tori, he passed away. I'll never forget that conversation, Lajuana.
That's interesting because she's coming and being descriptive, and she's we see all this muscle, and so it's so sweet to know that she has that sensitive side. And we're human, and we want the things to stop. It's not that we're hating anybody, but we want to stand up for our rights. So, and we want to have our freedom. That's all. We want to be made whole. That's it. But we don't hate the other person. It's them that are showing the hate and venom towards us. So we are victims, and that's it. And this just needs to end. But I thank you for coming on and bringing that out, Tori. Thank you for being on the jam.
Thank you.
All right.
Talk to you later, Tori.
Okay. All right. Next caller, please. Yeah, we made it through, guys. We made it through. And so I just want to remind everybody to say happy birthday to Regina and happy birthday to all the October birthdays. And Lajuana, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everybody who participated in the jam, Lady T. Sending information to me, J.A.M, Liliana, Major P, Sir Dan, Tranquility, thank you for everything. And everybody else, I know I always forget names, but thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dee Dee, for making sure that this happened. And just thank you, everybody. And love you guys. Love you, Jamsters. We're gonna open up so we can say good night, and you all can say whatever you want to say. Lajuana, you want to have some words before we open up? They're gonna all say hello and stuff to us.
I just wanted to say thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. You've been delightful. You'll have to come back, and we're walking in your footsteps. Can't wait for this to go down. So thank you. We're depending on you. All right, let's. Yeah. It's about to go down. All right. All right, let's open up. All right.
Thank you.
Let's find that. Somebody want to make sure we don't say nothing. That's funny.
Good night.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining the J.A.M, everybody. I don't know who that was.
You ladies, have a good night.
Thank you for being here.
Thank
you.
Good night,
everybody. Thank you all. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here.
Can I ask y'all one question?
Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the J.A.M.
Raji. Stay safe. Can I ask you one question?
You too. Stay safe. You can try.
When do you go get, like, I heard you say something about body, if they have, like, implants. Where do you go get, like, a certain, I know certain tests you can go and you can find it. Like, where do you find people like that can go get tested for implants and stuff like that?
Okay. So, I'm not giving out addresses or anything. Well, send me an email, Sharice. Send me an email, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me. Okay. Guys, thank you for being here tonight. So glad you all enjoyed the J.A.M. I enjoyed you being here. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.